We're unmuted. We're here and we're ready to party. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Against the Tides, and good evening. Hopefully everything is going well for you in your lives, in your D&D campaigns. We're here back with Against the Tides, a homebrewed campaign set on the continent of Wildemount in the world of Exandria. I'm joined today in every session by our wonderful group of players. We're going to kick it off with a round of introductions and start with Sarah.
Oh, hi, I'm Oseric Franco, and I play Kelby Sparkspinner, the forest gnome bard druid. Druid bard? Who's to say? And I'm excited to be here. Pass you over to Shum.
Hi, I'm Shum. I play Anders Oberon, the Shadow Soul Knife Monk Rogue. We'll just say it like that. Tyrant.
Hello, I am Tyrant, and I am playing Mistwyn Ironfist, the Dwarf Paladin. On to Bright.
I'm Bright, and I'm playing Poigny Duman, mystical, magical hunky boy.
He is.
Take it away, Ash.
Accurate. Hi, I'm Ash. I go Bastion Rabbit here on Twitch and all over the internet. I am the GM for this game. We also have DMF Saint as our lovely Turley Remington, the Turtle Life Cleric. Also, oh my god, what does he say? What is his line? Fuck.
I'm like an onion. Please peel me.
That's the line.
There we are.
That's a line.
He's a tourist turtle. That's what it is.
That's
He's
right.
a tourist.
Right.
Yes. He is absent this evening. But the game moves on. Let's get into a recap, shall we? Last we left off, our party made haste toward the Twin Hills Ford Station, their next step on their trek towards the Lushgut Forest. Upon their safe arrival at the location, they found the station in massive disrepair, held together solely by the work of a single druid elf, keen on keeping everything aligned to the best of her Vine's abilities. The Bric-a-Brac Inn was a welcome, if not wobbly, respite from the road for the group, where they felt comfortable enough to let their walls down and play pranks on one another. The boat that was to ferry them down the river wasn't arriving for another day, so they took to rest with a dream-soured night. Greeted by the chilly morning and ice flow down the river, the party is welcomed with their new transportation in the form of a bit of a flat, kind of curved looking boat thing. It's cool. And specific instructions on how to manage their days-long journey down to Copia Lake, their next pit stop along the road. A most uneventful day on the boat quickly changed as an avalanche catapulted them quickly down the last stretch of the river towards the lake ahead. All arriving in one piece, the group was met with the Kinau people, protectors of the sacred Copia Lake, and were eventually invited to dine with them and lend a hand to those who needed healing and a distraction from the state of the world. After a rousing evening of being of help, putting on a show, and witnessing the Kinau spirit, our party set up camp on the west side of the lake to rest up before their long trek through the mountains and onwards towards their destination of the forest just on the other side. Players, you've set up camp and are getting ready for sleep this calm, chilly evening. If we haven't already established a watch, let's do so now.
I'll go first.
Okay. Turley's going to take the second one.
Once again, since the responsibility has yet to be thrust upon him, if no one tells him that there is a watch order, he is going to assume what he's always assumed. And Poigny will sleep amongst the illusory people that cannot harm him.
Okay. Cool.
I'll go third.
Okay.
Kelby would take last.
All right. I would like to think that watches you really only need 3 of them because a rest period is 8 hours. 2 of those are just like free time to just like fall asleep, wake up, do whatever you need to do, and then 6 of those are for sleep. So I would like to think that only 6 of those hours really need to be covered because at some point on either end of the evening and morning, someone will be awake. So if we want to just stick with 3, Mistwyn or Kelby, whoever really wants it, if you guys want to do it together, that's totally cool.
Hey man, that works for me.
On
Older parchment
3.
shears.
Yes.
Wait. It's on shoot.
Fine. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay. But yeah, you get it. What do you want? If you keep it in or not?
I'll take it.
Okay. Tight. So the watch order established. Was there anything in particular that any of you wanted to do leading up to this long rest, or are you just getting into it?
Kelby coming from the performance that she had done in the camp would probably be caring for her instrument in that free time. Once camp was all established, she'd sit up somewhere and wipe down the strings and the instrument and make sure everything was clean before putting it up for the night. But she would also be really wiped. It was a big day. Avalanches, scary things, just a lot.
Very good. Is anyone else doing anything, or are we just heading straight into the watches? All right, Anders, roll that perception check for me, my good dude.
Let's see. Perception 22.
22. Okay. You would notice that the small village on the other side of the lake, where they can now have essentially created their own little village, it never seems to stop bustling, in a sense. Like, it's very obvious that the majority of them have gone to sleep, but there's still fires throughout. You still see warriors walking along the perimeter of the lake, mostly on their side. So you see people with torches walking by. Not so much over to where you guys are, but you can see that there's still activity over there, even this late at night.
All right. Makes sense given the goings on of the current time period and such.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything
right.
that you wanted to do on your watch?
No, I don't think so. I think he's pretty focused and just eager to move along to the next step. So,
Okay.
no, nothing in particular.
This is a question mostly for me because I gotta know: does Marcel take the watch with you, or is he like tucked up in a cute little tiny mouse bed?
Oh no, he's out.
Okay.
He's on my shoulder. He's always looking a different direction from me. Check and see where I'm looking. He'll look the other way. So yeah, he's a team player. He's part of the team.
That's a good buddy right there. Okay. Okay, very good. You go and wake up Turley. He kind of like grumbles as he like has just fallen asleep and gotten comfortable, but he'll just kind of like slap you like, all right, I'm awake. Don't worry about it. You go to rest. Let me roll for his perception. Okie dokie. What is his modifier? Very good. Okay. That is Turley's. Mistwyn, a very tired turtle, will wake you up for your watch.
Wait, Turley. Get some sleep. I got this.
Yep. And you see him like very quickly settle back into where he was previously resting.
I take my blanket and I throw it over Turley so he has some more warmth. And I'm not going to stray too far from the camp, but I'm assuming we're camped near the water, the reservoir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not too far from that.
I'm just going to go take a stroll along the water side.
Okay.
Keeping an eye on the camp and on the town, but just kind of like aimlessly walking.
Okay. Feel free to do that perception check.
14.
14. Very much the same that Anders would have passed on to Turley, and Turley would have told you that there's still activity happening over in the village. It's not very much, but you can still see flames as people carry their torches and do their own watches within their village limit. Some even like coming out onto the dam, maybe only about halfway. They don't want to get too far away. The kind of height elevation that you have from standing on this dam grants you a bit of a better view of the lake itself. And you know this lake, you've seen it before. At the very least have like seen it from when you may have left your home, or just by visiting, passing through. But it's very much as you remember it, very calm, serene. It doesn't look like really much development in the area other than the village and the dam are brand new to you. And it seems to be a bit of a safe haven as well. You haven't seen like a firefly of a lost soul at all since you've been here.
Okay. And there doesn't seem to be any other major activity that I can discern. No one's coming towards us, or I can't really make out any of the things actually happening in the village.
Not particularly, no. The lake is pretty massive. Like, imagine Lake Tahoe and how wide it is. The movement that you see is the light of the torches bounding around, and eventually people kind of walking on that dam, but not getting even as far as halfway. That's the most movement that you can see, because otherwise it's pitch black.
Then yeah, I'll just spend the rest of my time chilling, and then I suppose we'll make some coffee near the end of my shift and wait for everybody else to get up.
Okay. As you walk back to the camp where everyone is resting, you see where Anders has very kind of like tightly curled himself into a ball, kind of like snuggling cute little Marcel. And Kelby is off, like kind of sprawled out a little bit and snoring like right next to the fire. Poignet.
Occasionally saying just like random shit.
This is very good. Poignet also kind of doing the same, just like huddling as close to this fire as tiefling-ish possible, to absorb as much of the heat. You don't see Turley. The blanket that you put on him is neatly folded and near your pack. And there's a piece of parchment on top of the blanket.
Oh no. I go read the piece of parchment.
Okay. Do you want me to DM it to you, or do you want to wait until everyone is awake to share it?
DM it to me
Okay.
for now.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it's just for me, you know?
Mm-hmm. The rest of you will kind of find yourselves waking up. The dawn of the sun kind of cresting over the eastern mountains and just breaking on the western side. You can see it's kind of lighting up like it itself is a massive torch, the top of the mountains illuminated by the morning sunlight.
What's for breakfast?
Oh, I went and caught some rabbit. Oh,
Mistwyn,
well. Figured you could use a laugh. Here. I'm gonna pass Kelby the letter.
What is this? This letter.
There's no rabbit.
No, but I'll go look for some.
No, it's fine.
Kelby's going to read the letter.
Do you want to DM it to her, or do you want me to just read it to you?
I'll just read it to me, it's fine.
Okay. The letter reads, I've never been one for goodbyes, so let me just say this. I've been dealing with some personal demons in a very unhealthy way, and I need to spend some time on my own to figure them out. Haven't felt especially needed by y'all as a healer, and I've never been much for being violent anyway, so I have a hunch you'll be fine until I get back. With love, Turley Remington.
Mistwyn, this isn't funny. And Kelby's gonna look around. Is he gone?
What did you read it out loud or just to yourself?
I think she would have read it to herself, but handed it.
Okay.
Like, if Anders tried to take it, she wouldn't keep it. She would, pass it around. For the
No,
sake of
I'm not
everyone
trying to
knowing.
take it. I would just say,
Yeah.
what's not funny? What are you talking about?
Turley's gone. Turley left. He thinks we don't need him. Look, here. And she'll hand him the note. Mistwyn, when did he leave?
Sometime during my shift, but I must not have seen it.
There's wolves out there. Can't you hear them? He might get eaten.
I mean, those sounded like baby wolves. At least.
It's very small, it sounds like. And plus he has that very thick shell. He'd probably be fine.
What is all this blubbering?
Turley's gone.
Dirty? Ah!
Yeah.
Le Tortue. Oui.
Yeah.
Well, he is very big and does not move very fast. Surely he can't have gone very far.
Okay. But he's gonna come back, right? Right?
And what did it say?
I mean, the letter makes it seem like he's going to come back, but
What
I
letter?
don't know when.
Left a letter?
Yeah, Kelby's gonna point to the letter she's handed to Anders.
Hilby, I know it is difficult to when people leave your life, but he must follow his own path, so as we must follow ours.
That's alright.
I'm sure
about him. He is going to come back.
I'm
He
sure he'll be
read the
back
last
when
sentence.
his path leads us back to us.
I mean, it's literally the last sentence in his letter that he will be returning.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm just worried about him.
Of
Are we
course,
to wait here for him? Is he...
we cannot wait. We must continue. I am as sad as anyone else is that he is gone, but like I said, it is his path, and we have ours.
If you believe in it, fate brought us all together, then surely fate will bring us back together again. If it's meant to be.
Well said.
Plus, if you do believe in those sorts of things, Charlie's god is that of the travelers. So I suppose maybe he just needed some extra traveling. Maybe on his own. Anyway. I think I am actually going to go try to catch a rabbit. I'll be right back.
Kelby's gonna kind of go over to her sleeping situation and kind of plop down on it and bring her knees up under her chin. Just kind of sit there for a bit before starting to gather up her items.
Poignet, when you go to, like, gather your things next to you, you'll see a strange cube kind of sitting just barely poking out of your pack. And another smaller note that says, have fun, Charlie.
kind of squint his eyes and tilt his head and pick up the cube. What's it look like?
Looking it up because I don't know.
And if this is what I think it is, I'm gonna shit myself.
Looks to be a cube-shaped container, 5 to 6 inches on a side. It's composed of airtight, interlocking parts made from materials you find very familiar.
I look at the. I assume that there's writing on the outside of some sort.
Oh yeah.
I kind of smile as I turn the thing over and over in my hand. I glance up at the sun to mark like what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I start like fiddling with it as I'm like putting my stuff away. I'll occasionally like slide one section over, kind of like somebody idly twists a Rubik's Cube.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll start fiddling with the sliding pieces. When it gets to be around like 45 minutes, he's gonna take pause and like put it away and deal with this later. But the smile doesn't leave his face. It's just kind of the reminder hits him, but it's not. It doesn't hit him in a way that like he's now overly pensive about it. He's just kind of like he's just kind of amused with like the nostalgia of the item and kind of puts the feeling away to deal with later.
Go ahead and add an infernal puzzle box to your inventory for now. Sick.
Okay.
Got a confirmation.
What could go wrong?
Not exactly what I thought it was, but also, whew.
Turley's into some kick-ass puzzles, man.
He's the bomb, yo.
He really is.
But he'll finish gathering up his stuff as he leaves the cube on like the top of his pack to easily access later.
Okay. So you all have the day ahead of you. Packing up camp is easy enough to do. It's up to you where you want to go next.
Well, are we still going on the mission?
Of course.
Which direction are we headed into today?
Directly west, towards the mountain.
We. Huan Yi is gonna like clear off some dirt in the area so that it's flat and smooth. And he's going to reach into his pack and grab his deck of cards out and flip over a card with an arrow on the front of it and drop it on the floor as a large image. He's casting prestidigitation. A large image of an arrow pointing west, you said, appears on the ground, and then he's going to take out a small metal rod that he keeps in his pack and just start chiseling away at the dirt to make it a permanent etching. And when he's done, the magical image will disappear, leaving the engraved arrow pointing, and just above it is a little cartoon turtle with like a stick figure face on it.
We leaving breadcrumbs.
He will be able to find us if he comes back.
Gelby,
Very good.
you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Let's go.
Okay. Well, we're off to meet the wizard.
I've never met a wizard. I don't think.
Oh, it's just a saying. Never heard the fairy tale? The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz?
Mhm.
What's
This is-
an Oz?
There's this mean old wizard that ran a penitentiary.
What's a penitentiary?
That's like a prison.
What's a prison?
It's like a hole that you
It's
throw
a big building
bad
with
people
inmates, but
into.
that's not important right now.
Yes, thank you. Love airplane.
Mistwyn, I think you're making this all up.
Oh no! Why would I make anything up?
You're trying to cheer me up, I think.
No.
Kelby, what do they do with criminals where you're from? If you say what's a criminal, then I'll be very confused.
No, I know that. I know that one. I mean, if you do something against the family, you just have to kind of stay out on your own for a while.
Yeah, that's like a prison, except there would be more people who have to be on their own, and they would each have an individual room where they could be on their own.
Oh.
Well, we don't make special rooms for them. They just have to go be in the woods.
I see.
They can come back eventually. It just kind of depends on what they do, you know?
Yes, that is just like prison.
Okay.
All right, I think we have about 3 to 4 miles through the woods and that way. And this one just starts heading off into the brush.
I will follow along.
Okay. So you start making your way west, like up into the foothills, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. The mountain range around you in this bright early morning light is lit softly by the sun, showcasing the mighty peaks of the Sirios Mountains. They feel gargantuan and overbearing as you approach on a gradual incline up past the foothills and into the steep terrain of the mountain. You follow a rocky pass carved by consistent wear and knowing footing, climbing ever higher on the Sierra before you. It's easy to get lost in your thoughts at the majesty of the sight before you. Most of you have seen the mountains from a great distance and may not have truly recognized the power they hold over the land in which they rest. Some of you are intimately familiar with their stature, their command over the land as silent, dominating giants. They oversee the lives of those around them and only occasionally intervene with a rock fall or snowpack as it tumbles down their sides, shedding their weight upon the world as the continent shifts. Ever stalwart and present, this mountain feels a strange mix between comforting and frightening. Do you guys think about anything in particular as you're making your climb up this mountain? Like what thoughts are just coming across your mind here? Daydreaming, perhaps, thinking of the mission at hand.
Kelby's would be pretty straightforward. I don't think she's ever experienced like big mountains before, because even coming from where she did, it was forest, and I think she's seen mountains, but I don't think she's seen mountains like this. So I think Kelby would be a little bit apprehensive, but she would also be like it. As we begin climbing the mountain, she would be distracted, like in her own thoughts, just kind of moving back and forth between like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy that this exists, and also like bouts of like melancholy as she's like running back memories in her head, trying to figure out a way to kind of resolve her feelings about Turley not being there and stuff like that. But I think she would be like timid as they move up the mountains, and like I don't think Kelby could have fathomed something as large as these mountains. I don't think that occurred to her that could be.
So as they make their ascent and start to get into the real, mountain passes, anyone looking at Anders would see Marcel kind of run out and kind of get on his shoulder, and he's kind of looking around a little bit excitedly, kind of runs up on top of his head on the hood of his cloak, and he's standing up on 2 legs and kind of sniffing the air, and then all of a sudden he'll look, if you can imagine a mouse's shoulders kind of slumping, depressed a little bit, and he kind of trudges back down onto Anders' shoulder, and Anders looks at him and goes, I know, my friend. I miss home, too. We will be back one day. And Marcel kind of goes back into his robe pouch and won't be seen for a while.
I think Poigny, once this trek begins upward, he'll pull out that puzzle box to kind of distract him from the fact that they're now having to hike, which is not his forte, especially in what I imagine is going to be increasingly colder weather as we elevate. Poigny will continue to fiddle, and it'll be like his sole focus as he literally just follows them by sound and does not look up from it the entire time.
Mistwyn's pretty singular. He is trying not to think about home and what is waiting for him, and is instead looking for the proper landmarks and signifying pieces of terrain that would guide him to where we need to go.
Okay. Kelby, as you're kind of pondering your thoughts, allowing them to kind of wash over you as you continue to ascend this mountain, we'll start thinking about Turley, start thinking about how big the mountain is, kind of start thinking about everything that's been happening thus far, and memories of Rom in the ruins will pop into your mind. And it's in that brief instant that things that are not your memories pop into your head. Just briefly right behind them, as if you've opened a door to allow them in. You see a beacon frozen in ice. You see the fireflies of lost souls congregating in the ruins of Shattengrad. You see Rom in his room, surrounded by the other clerics assisting him. And then you see swirling darkness.
Kelby would stop, like dead in her tracks, like kind of that skittering stop, and like start breathing really hard. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's really, really wrong. Something's wrong. And she's going to turn back and look the way that we came. No, there's something wrong. Rom's not okay. Something's happening. There's a... Did you see it? Did you see it? Please tell me that you saw it. It was... There's the fireflies, and they're in Shattengrad, and Rom, it's dark, and there's something wrong. I don't know what it is. There was a beacon. It was in ice, and I it's like I'd seen it, but I haven't seen it, and I don't know what. I don't know. What was that?
I don't know. I didn't see it either, but whatever you saw, it's... I'm sure they're okay. Don't be.
But what if they're not?
It just makes it that much more important that we complete our task. We must keep going. I know it is difficult, but...
Okay, but there was a beacon, and it was in ice, and we're supposed to go all the way to that forest. There's not ice there, but there was ice. I saw it. What does that mean?
I mean, there's plenty of ice between here and there, I think. Maybe it's on the way.
Did you get any of the landmarks? Somewhere to tell us where to go?
Remind me if I'm wrong, GM. There was the beacon frozen in ice, fireflies kind of swarming, and lost souls in the ruins of Stonegarden. Rom surrounded by clerics in their little room, and then just darkness.
That's correct.
No, it's weird. It's like kind of like the memories. Like I had seen it before, but I hadn't. They're not my memories. But it was just Stonegarden. It was Rom in the chamber with all the other clerics, and there was the fireflies, the lost souls. There were so many of them. And Turley's gone, and sorry, I just, that scared me. I wasn't.
No, it's going to be okay. We're going to figure all of this out. Turley may be gone for now, but he'll come back. And Rom will be fine. We'll complete our mission, and we'll save the world.
Okay.
At least, I feel like that's all we can strive to do. Sometimes it all just seems too big.
It is a big task we have before us. Much rides in the balance.
Maybe we should hurry.
Hey, let's hurry. Double time looking for the waterfall.
Okay. Looking for the waterfall, something doesn't really feel right. Something feels different. It doesn't sit right with you. The path ahead of you is so familiar that you look ahead and pay no heed to where your footsteps are placed, certain of where your next step is going to take you. The only thing you're sure of as you make your way up the hill and towards where you know the entrance to be is that something is very wrong. It takes you the greater part of your day climbing these foothills and into the mountain for you to find the waterfall. And it's just as you remember it. There is a sheer waterfall that's tumbling from the heights of the mountain, kind of tucked in a tight, craggy nook. Seems fairly unassuming. And the water that's feeding from the waterfall into a small pool below is being led downhill and down the mountain into a small stream, which you would know eventually feeds into Copia Lake.
Well, all right, everybody. Are you ready to do this?
Do what? What are we doing?
Well, we're going into the mountain. Just don't touch anything, unless I say so. Please.
Why?
I don't want you to get hurt. There's traps and other things.
Just step where he steps.
Kelby's gonna move up to Mistwyn, and she's gonna slip a hand into his and kind of look up, just slightly up at him.
Are you ready?
have to be.
Are you intimately familiar with this mountain?
Aye. Very. I hope none of you are afraid of getting wet. And Mistwyn steps through the waterfall.
All right. Through the waterfall.
Kelby will move behind, like she'll kind of look at Poigny and kind of wince as she darts as fast as she can, trying not to get very wet.
Wani will scowl and just like slowly walk through it as if he's walking into like a hookah shop with the beads. It's just kind of as it pours over him, his like nose pokes out very slowly and he steps through and then just waggles his finger in the air and prestidigitates himself to be dry again.
So, is this waterfall in a shaded area?
More or less.
We would say an area of dim light.
We
And
can,
is
we
it
can
dim
say
light
so.
on the other side?
I would say there probably, well, as far as I know, there wouldn't be light on the other side.
Perfect. So Anders will walk up to the waterfall and kind of looks at it. And then he pulls his cloak tight and his image just vanishes. And then appears on the other side of the waterfall. Perfectly dry.
That's pretty cool.
Wani will spin around and slap Mistwyn on the back of the head and cast prestidigitation and do what Kelby did earlier with the whole slapping a water after image off of him.
It like takes him by surprise, and so the water image is him going like, ah!
And the water after image like fades away and like waves as it collapses into a puddle.
Kelby will kind of like shake and pat her hair, and then she'll focus, like grab her spell focus and focus really hard, and the prestidigitation will look like the water, instead of like it like Hadoukening out, is gonna like it's gonna expand, and then like mist away and look like kind of like starlight, like almost like it kind of steams off of her, and she'll stop and her hair will be just slightly more curly as it's now been increased humidity.
Glancing back and forth between Kelby and Mistwyn. I preferred your older method. It's more
Well, I
entertaining.
I'm glad you're just trying a new thing. I didn't want to. I don't know. Just. Yeah, you're right. The other one's a little more fun. Hey, Anders,
Yes.
are you gonna do that all the time now, or is that just a special occasion bit?
I'm probably going to do it quite a bit. And he kind of has this sly, shit-eating grin on his face.
Okay, all right. No. Just. Okay, yeah, all right. All right, Mistwyn. Ready or not, here we go.
Mistwyn lights a torch so that everybody can see. I don't know. Does anyone have dark vision?
Ooh.
Just Poigny.
Well, if you're going to light a torch, I'm not going to burn 2 key points. But I can give myself... Actually, I think I can give... Let's see how many people... Oh, it's just a willing creature, so yeah, no.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm sure Poignet sees in the dark just fine.
Feel at home. And
Kelby can't see.
same
Kelby can't see shit. However, if she sees Mistwyn trying to like go for a torch, be like, oh, no, I got it. And she's going to, she'll still have her little flag. She'll reach up and put a hand on it, and there'll be silver starlight kind of glittering out from the flag. And minor illusion, the little version of Kelby on there will now look like a little spelunker. Will like have like a diving hat. As it kind of just like does it every once in a while flaps in an invisible magic breeze.
Amazing.
I love this more than anything.
Ash, would you like to do the honors of describing, or would you like me to?
You can. I have a couple notes afterwards, but feel free to like tell people what you think is gonna be in there.
Oh fuck.
Not that different.
So what I expect to be in here, at least. I feel like an asshole now. Let's see.
Oh, you're fine.
So as we enter into this larger room, we see that it is a refined stone antechamber with a square-like in demeanor, about 40 feet by 40 feet, with on the far wall there are two large iron dwarf statues guarding a circular door with dwarven script lining the edges. And in front of the door and in the middle of the room, there is a 10-foot diameter hole that just kind of drops into sheer darkness. And as we enter, I don't know if we see anything different.
Not too much different. If you'd like to continue, if you have any
Sure.
more to add.
As we enter, Mistwyn just kind of steps up to the hole and points at the dwarven script that's lining the doorway, and he says, "Heavy of pride, boon and treasure, abandon all thy burdens into the maw of the mountain. Only the light of soul may enter. If you have anything you'd like to avail yourself of, now would be the time."
I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Anders, what does that mean?
I think he wants you to confess your sins.
What?
Miss.
Well, Mistwyn, you want me to... What? To a hole in the ground?
Well, no, if you, it's more like if. Of course, it wouldn't be that simple, would it? Never mind. And Mistwyn just kind of looks dejected and walks over.
Well, no, I'm just trying to understand that. So, like, what... Like, how does this work?
It's the dwarven equivalent of live, laugh, love. They want you to lighten your load and bear your soul to the door, like this. And Poigny will like lift one leg and
And it echoes down into the hole.
He's really unburdening himself, isn't he?
and he'll step through.
It's supposed to be more like, you know, if you've stolen things or if you have something guilt or would like to make a sacrifice to the mountain, you're supposed to like throw your stuff into the hole.
So... Give me a second.
And Kelby's gonna start like rummaging like through her items, like literally trying to look for anything.
Anders will walk up to the. It's just a big hole in the ground. Is that right?
Yeah.
So he'll walk into the hole, or walk up to the hole, and I respect your traditions, my friend. And he'll take out a gold piece and flip it in there. And I will minus a gold piece.
So we have a fart, a gold piece.
Jesus.
And
What a display of treasure by all.
A fart. I love it. Oh god.
Kelby is going to kind of look around in this cave, and like rummage in her pack and find eventually her herbalism kit.
Give me a second. All right, okay.
And she'll find a couple of seeds that would be used, and she'll hold them in her hand and cast Druidcraft to make them grow and bloom into the full like flowers that they're supposed to be. And then she'll kind of walk over to the pit and like look at everybody.
Don't listen, okay? This is a secret, and it's for the mountain.
We're not listening. I promise.
Then Kelby will get down like on her hands and knees and like lean over the pit, and you'll hear her whispering.
and it all echoes back up through the hole.
I roll a 19 on the stealth check, and Anders is gonna be right up behind her.
Does it really echo even though I'm whispering? Because if
I
it
mean,
does,
yes.
okay, it might take a second because she wouldn't continue saying it if it immediately reverberated back. But she would then drop the flowers, and as she does, you'll hear Kelby's voice kind of rippling up. Anders would hear it first.
I'm really sorry about Pie. I didn't know that it wasn't for taking. It was just on a window. And she was a bitch anyways. So, you know, it's probably fine. Here's these flowers. Okay, bye.
Interesting.
As she gets up, Anders would resume his starting position. She wouldn't notice he was there.
Okay, I did the thing. Is the mountain my friend now, or how does this work?
I mean, all of that was just kind of a fun joke we like to play on people. That's not actually how you get into the mountain. And Mr. will reach up, pulling the pearl that he bought in
Eurosa.
Eurosa, thank you. I was looking for it. Bought in Eurosa, and he'll kind of reach up on his tippy toes, and he'll put it into the empty eye socket of one of the large metal dwarves. And as he does so, he like puts it in and then kind of clicks it, and the two dwarf statues turn. The bases kind of shuttering after a certain period of time, turn and face each other, and the circular doorway will start to come open, revealing a passageway.
Sick.
This seems like a really convoluted system.
Oh, we just like to mess with people. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm all for good drinks and stuff, but geez Louise.
I mean,
You never...
sometimes we get some good stuff. People like to throw all sorts of shit down there. We can go get your gold if you like.
It was
It's
a
fine.
gold piece.
It's a gold
It's
piece.
fine.
I want my fat back.
I think, unfortunately, for that one, you might have to jump.
It's a good joke, Mistwyn. You got this all. Congratulations. He'll pat you on the back.
Very good.
Well,
Just wait, payback's a bitch.
I imagine.
Kelby looks at like Anders, like looks looks at Mistwyn like, holy shit. You got Anders in on it.
Well, everyone, welcome to the Mines of Stonegarden.
Hey, Mistwyn, you want to tell everyone what you expect to see on the other side of the door?
Oh shit. It depends. I expect to see a tunnel system. Pretty well done mines. Kind of on a gradient, at least a slight gradient going upward. With what was it? What did I say? These kind of like little pockets in the wall that emit this mild green hue from a bioluminescent stone. Just kind of every 50 feet or so to light the path. And I'm assuming I don't see that.
Not really. No. It's similar to what you remember. The door swivels open, and as you all pass through, you see a tunnel on a gradual incline and a cart system. But the cart that would normally be resting there isn't there. And the bioluminescent light that you would see every 50 feet or so is replaced with some torches and some, like, bulbs of light. And for you, Mistwyn, this is especially different. There is activity in these tunnels, even here at the entrance. You hear noise up the tunnel. You see movement just beyond your scope of your view here. And it's hot and it's humid. You enter in here and the whoosh of hot air just kind of blows past you and gets rid of any and all chill that you may have had coming in from that winter scene.
Yeah, this is not what I expected. Activity-wise, is it like dwarves? Do we see the activity?
If you'd like to make a perception check to, well, investigation, because you know the place, so you're looking for something more specific. Feel free to do so.
Okay. 11.
11. It's hard to discern exactly the activity, but you could surmise a guess. You know what these mines are for. And they're heavily active. And you all continue up this tunnel, passing by some torches and some wired bulbs. And there's copper pipes kind of disjointedly attached to the walls in kind of haphazard patterns. And steam is billowing out from some of the less secure pipes.
Kelby, like, gets surprised by one.
It's like a haunted house. No! Huh.
Yeah.
The burst of air! How dare! In continuing to walk through the tunnel, you're still on the path where the cart track is. And eventually you'll come across a new mine shaft, one that you're not familiar with, Mistwyn. It is open and it is massive in scale. You peer in and you see just this, like, cut out of the mountain. And you see people in there. And you see them mining. And you see the cart system veer off into this kind of outcrop of the tunnel. And you see carts full of gems, full of people, You see a bit of a station where the cart rests, and you see people lined up and waiting. You see in small corners, you see families congregated.
What?
Mister, what is all this stuff?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
This isn't what I left.
What?
Does it seem like this is a refugee camp almost?
Not necessarily, but you do see a lot of people actively working. It's like the time of day for you all is probably like early afternoon, so that kind of tracks for the time of day, but it is fervent activity. People working like they're, 10 minutes away from the end of their shift, and they're trying to hurry as fast as they can.
I don't see any signs of forced labor, do I?
Make a perception check.
I'm gonna use my inspiration to re-roll that.
Okay.
Amazing.
That's a bummer.
I realize now that those of you who reached out with a response to our mid-session prompt, I never gave you anything. I was a bit busy today. I still have to figure out exactly what that is, but remind me on the break and I'll get that to you.
I don't know what's going on. The mines have never been this active.
What do you mean? What? Look at all these people. And all these lights. Like, how do they even do that? That's so weird.
Someone, I don't know if it's the heat or what, but it's affecting my vision. Can anyone else tell me if they see anything odd?
Kelby.
Sure, what do we see?
Kelby's. Yeah, go for it. Because everything here is odd to Kelby.
That goes doubly so for Poignet, so he doesn't know what he's looking for.
Welcome to this strange place. Tell me, what do your special eyes see?
I'll have a look.
Okay. Get a good old perception.
All right. That'd be 26.
26. This appears uncomfortable. The families that you see huddled off in the corner look like they're just surviving, doing the best they can. The workers you see, their eyes kind of hollowed and dark. And these are all dwarves, if that wasn't entirely obvious.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Are they dwarves, or is it a mixture?
They're all dwarves. And it's mostly the stronger dwarves that you see that are taking on the mining responsibility, but you do see more kind of frail figures just hacking away at the walls here, ever expanding this cavern.
So, do they look like they are conscious, or like the ones that are working? Do they look like they're conscious, or in like a mindless, trance state as they're hacking away?
With a 26, you would recognize that they are of sound mind, but just kind of drolling on, trying to some may seem a bit glossy-eyed as they're trying to escape into like their own little mind palaces to get away from whatever the fuck is happening here. But yeah, they seem like they have their wits about them.
I think you should probably go and try and talk to someone. I mean, they look like they're doing this of their own free will, but they don't look good.
All right. Mistwyn's just gonna like reach down and grab a piece of coal that I'm assuming is just laying around. And I'm just gonna get some coal on his hand and wipe it across his face so it's less recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go approach someone who maybe just got off a shift, if that's possible.
Sure. It takes a little while. Looking for anyone who's not immediately working or just holing up. It takes maybe about 20 minutes until you see someone eventually leave their station and take like a burlap sack and dump the contents into one of the carts in the center of this cavern, and you see a fairly hefty haul of jewels. And they have an even smaller pouch next to them that they just kind of dump out on the ground, and you see a small pile of coal next to it. They brush their hand through their hair, slick with sweat, just exhausted with the day. And they make their way in line towards the individuals looking to exit the cavern via one of the carts, it appears. You would have seen people waiting to enter these carts. And there would be two separate lines for the carts. One veering off as a deposit for what they've mined, and one veering off as a location where they can then ride in the carts back up the tunnel.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the best times I can possibly use this. I'm going to, as I'm approaching, just kind of take a deep breath, and I'm going to use my channel divinity to use Emissary of Peace to give myself a +5 to charisma checks for the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. Speaking in Dwarvish.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, friend.
Yeah. What do you need?
What's going on here? I'm just getting back from traveling.
Are you a scout?
No. I'm from a neighboring clan.
Oh, so it was a delivery then. I see.
Yeah, but I've never seen... It's been a long time since I've been here. What exactly is happening here?
We're working.
Is this how life normally is?
Oh God, so you're not a secret foreman, are you? You have to tell me if you are. You can't. You're not supposed to. There was.
Tell me if you're a cop.
Yeah, there was a deal struck. They're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to do that anymore. And he just very wearily shakes a finger at you.
No,
it's like very calloused.
I'm not a foreman. I'm just looking for an explanation. Who's in charge here?
You really don't know?
Like I said, I just got here.
How long have you been away?
I mean, I haven't been. I've never been here. But the last time my family was here was maybe 50 years ago.
Oh. Oh. Lots have changed. I mean, King Brahm's still here. This is him and the queens. They told us that this is the good for Stonegarden. That we'll all come along with them. And oh, sorry. I've been here for like 14 hours. My shift just ended. I'm supposed to meet my wife for dinner.
Yeah, of course. What do you mean this is all for the good of Stonegarden? What exactly is happening?
They upped production.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's so strange that you wouldn't know. They've been trading everywhere, getting the word out. So how would you not know if you're a neighbor? That's just
Well, kind of reclusive. Is there a way to see King Brahm? To
what a luxury you have to just not have to be in the know of everything here. You weren't recruited?
oh,
Anders, do you know what they're saying?
Yeah, because they're speaking Dwarvish.
Yeah, I feel like Kelby's passive insight's pretty high. So even though she can't understand what they're saying, I think she like seeing Mistwyn's like body language and watching this guy kind of like, I imagine that there's some sort of like, you know how you can tell when a conversation's not going the way that either person anticipated, and there's like a tenseness, like you're watching from across the parking lot and you're like, shit's gonna be bad. I think Kelby is gonna kind of look at Poignet and Anderson.
I think something's really wrong. I don't know if we should help, but something's that conversation's not going well.
Perhaps we should be privy. Are you trying to say something, Anders? Your mouth
Sorry,
is
yeah.
moving, but
I'm sorry, I was thinking to myself. When you say your passive insight is kind of high, what is that number? Because I want to know how low mine is.
Kelby has a passive insight of 22.
Okay.
Amazing.
So mine's only 15, so I'll be like, no, it looks like it's going all right to me. I mean,
No,
she looks tired, but I mean, she's been working in the mine.
No, it's listen, Anders, I appreciate you.
Yes.
But your people
yes.
skills could use some work.
Okay.
Something's not right there.
Anyi's gonna pull out his deck of cards and he's gonna flip front facing the judgment card and cast detect thoughts as he's standing nearby the conversation to see what it is that's going on.
Okay. What kind of level of thoughts are you able to surmise from this? Is it more surface thoughts or?
Yeah, they're having a conversation, so I'm gonna gather the surface thoughts as they're conversing.
Okay. This individual seems confused by the questions. Like, it feels like they're very much in a routine, and you can feel the intent behind their confusion of more or less like, this is hitting me off schedule. I need to go. I can't be here for much longer. Like, they're kind of trying to, in their own way, rush out of the conversation as quickly as they can with how tired they are. Because it's just a weird conversation for them.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at Mistwyn and do this motion, like, keep him talking. And I'm gonna probe deeper while he does that.
Okay.
I think you need to make a save too, by the way.
Okay.
Is there anyone that I can talk to about this more? I'm here on a simple trading expedition, but I need to tell my clan what's going on here. Is everybody happy about the change?
It's... Happiness isn't a commodity in Stonegarden anymore, and it hasn't been for a long time. So the change was life. We all kind of just accepted it at this point.
What happened to the other heirs? I'm surprised that old goat is still around.
Well, if it's been 50 years, have you heard about the assassination?
Of Prince Elias?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good. I don't like talking about that.
What happened? What happened to Helena?
She's missing. She has been for a while. I don't know how long. A long time. Can you tell me what... Sorry, do you know what month it is right now? I haven't had the chance to sign up for
That's a big question.
sunshine leave yet, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the month is something. DM.
You would know that. God, what the fuck is the calendar system? It's like the equivalent of like February, where it's cold. It's very wintry.
Oh wait, have we passed Winter's Crest already?
Yeah. You wouldn't know. Well, you would know, but
I think maybe it's more like, because I thought winter just started. Well, quote unquote. Like at the beginning of us leaving Shattengrad.
No, it was snowy.
Oh, was it?
Cold.
Okay.
Yeah, like it had been snowing. It, like we got caught in a storm, but it had been wintry.
Maybe okay. I was just mistaken then.
that it might have been me mistaken with the timeline. I'm sorry.
It's the equivalent of February.
Yes,
It is
it's
the equivalent
very
of February.
cold.
Mistwyn.
I think of months in terms of like the weather and how cold it is. So like, oh, it's super hot out. For me, that means like anywhere between May to September. Super, super hot, probably August.
Yeah.
So really cold, February.
It's blank because I don't know the month.
It's okay.
But Misuthar. It's Misuthar.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna reach into my pocket and I'm gonna pull out 50 gold. And I'm gonna step in real close. And I'm gonna get into his ear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna palm him the gold and say, it would be a great honor to meet and help your family more. Especially if you can introduce me to anyone else.
This person now has just a lifetime's worth of gold in front of them. Just beside themselves, staring at it, and then back up at you. And then back down to their hands. I don't know what I can do. I can take you to Mr. Redspine. He might be able to help.
And who is that?
It's a little complicated, but I mean, they're like us, and the coin pouch will kind of slam and jingle on their chest. It'll kind of startle them a little bit. I mean, they work in the mines.
Okay.
They will talk to the higher ups sometimes and ask for things.
Winnie, what are you doing?
How you say? Eavesdropping.
Well, what are they saying? Do you understand?
No. But this one is thinking, and what was the result of me probing deeper? Did they make their wisdom save at all?
Let me see. Where the fuck did my dice go? I found them.
Great success.
That's a D20. They did not make it. So what does that mean for probing deeper?
It means that I get access to things that largely loom in their mind, things that they love, things that they hate. And their emotional state, which should probably be pretty obvious from. And then anything that they're like worrying over.
Okay. Emotional state. Drained. Exhausted. Just hanging on by a thread. Their favorite things are on a spectrum between grass and sunshine on a sunny day and in like a meadow, and like you see like a cup of hot soup appear in their mind, and maybe like a small tiny piece of chocolate that was like found on the ground. What else are you looking for here?
I'm really trying to get more into like what is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Bright, but doesn't that spell work like as questions are being asked, it kind of like redirects the
You are right.
a
It
little
should
bit deeper?
shape their thoughts if they're being questioned. So like if she's being asked about like
So like is everyone happy was a question that was asked. What happened to the heirs?
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess Mr. Redspine would be the big things, right?
Okay. The question is, everyone is like, what's the state of happiness here? It just turns into like a grayscale form of like a crowd. Not much excitement, no smiles. Maybe a couple kids like up front trying to like pose for the imaginary camera, but not much left there. What happened to the heirs? You see like a funeral procession. You see a king and a queen, both dwarves, sitting upon thrones. They don't really kind of look like thrones. They kind of just look like chairs. and you see something kind of hazy off in their purview. Shoot, what was the last one?
Mr. Redspine.
Mr. Redspine. You see a faint recollection of a face. It's not like fully formed, like on the scale of like, can you picture an apple in your head from the description of an apple to a perfectly ripe like red apple? It's like kind of hazy right in the middle. They can't form major features. It's more of like they feel comfortable around this person, and there's like a determined look that's kind of coming through this haze, but nothing specific.
In essence, Kelby, it seems their society is collapsing. There has been death. Their royalty has poor taste in furniture. This individual knows very little. They have seen things, but it does not seem as if they fully understand the situations they are in. They are a peon, a footstool in the hierarchy of what is happening here. Should we find somebody else a little bit higher in the pecking order, I believe we shall figure out what is happening here, but this person is limited. But suffice to say, things are horrible.
Kind of as Mistwyn continues to have that conversation, Kelby's going to like look around a little more carefully, trying to figure who she would perceive as the boss. Like she's worked on a crew before. She knows like kind of a chain of command kind of system, though it's a little bit more loose than the traditional sense. But she's looking for who's leading this job.
Okay. You can make an investigation check if you'd like.
I would love to do that. Thank you very much.
Yes.
That is a 17.
17. Glancing around, you see just an excessive amount of workers. Some like trying to catch their breath and sit down and try and drink from an empty canteen. Others just hacking away at this cavern and continuing to attempt to mine. It doesn't look like there's anyone in particular in this cavern that is overseeing this, at least at this current time.
Anders, I don't see anybody who's like in charge of this. Maybe we should just go get Mistwyn?
I mean, this is his home. I mean, I think we should let him finish. He
Yeah,
will
but
come
this
get
is-
us when he is ready.
Okay.
I mean, where are we going to go?
I don't know. It just seems like it's wrong. Mistwyn seems really confused. He keeps scratching his beard, and normally he fluffs it, but now he's scratching it, and it's different.
I admire your observation skills, but this is his domain. I think we should let him lead.
Okay.
I'm sorry, friend. I didn't catch your name.
That's fine. Rieta.
Rieta?
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you, Rieta.
And yours?
Dirge.
Dirge. It's nice to meet you, Dirge. I would give you the whole welcome to Stonegarden, but I don't think it's really my place, and it's not really a welcome.
Well, Rieta, my friends and I are looking to get into the city.
Uh-huh.
Could we join you in your cart?
It won't take you to the city where I'm going, but I can take you to Mr. Redspine and see about bartering you a passage up to the city.
But you don't live in the city.
Right. You haven't been here for 50 years. Okay. No one does. There's no more
Okay.
room.
Huh. Okay. Well, maybe I can. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Maybe I can talk to Mr. Redspine about it.
Okay. Yeah, if you all want to come with me and wait for a cart, we can head up there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go grab them.
Okay. I'll go wait in line and hold your spot.
Thank you. Mistwyn will go join the party. There's something terrible going on. If it isn't apparent, none of these people even live in the city. I don't know what's going on, but I've gotten us passage further in, and we're going to meet with someone who may know more. I don't know what to expect from here on out.
Is there something important that we should know? Like, you know, not to curse on Tuesdays, or not to wear certain patterns together?
I mean, I don't think anything like that, but my new friend Rieta made it seem like there are overseers that are supposed to watch over these mines, and I would say we should probably stay away from them, and probably don't badmouth the king and the queen. But I don't know what's going on. I mean, 50 years, it's... I can't believe Brahm is still alive.
Do dwarves not live particularly long?
No, well, I mean, we do, but he was old when I left.
Do you think we will not be able to speak freely as we go? Do most people speak common here?
I think most people will speak common. Aye.
Well, if you're worried about saying the wrong thing, then perhaps I can help. Okay, so you'll see Anders. His eyes will flash purple, and he will basically trace a symbol in the space in front of him. And for the next 6 hours, because I rolled a 6 on the D6, we can all... So the thing says that all of you, so 4 creatures I can see, can speak telepathically with me and I with them. But I'm going to say that I would be relaying it, and it's the speed of thought. So while you can't technically speak to each other directly, you know what I mean? But for the next 6 hours, we can communicate telepathically with each other.
Yeah, you opened up a radio frequency that we're all
Yes.
tapping into. Cool.
And the
That's
best thing
awesome.
about that power is the first time I use it every day, it doesn't spin the dice.
Ooh.
What's the first thing that Ander says across this channel?
Hello, can you hear me? Is this working?
Just when did you learn how to do ventral? Have you been able to do ventriloquism this entire time?
He just kind of looks in her eyes and she'll hear, it's not ventriloquism. I'm not throwing my voice. I'm speaking to your mind. It's okay. You'll get used to it. Now we don't have to worry about what we say, which should be especially helpful for you, Kelby.
You hear across the mind channel, like there's like a pause.
Slutty duck biscuit.
For the sake of brevity, you guys would have gotten in line behind this individual who would have like shuffled you all into a cart. They would have made sure that there would have been an empty one just for all 5 of you. And the cart would essentially kind of like take off on its like own volition. There's like a pulley system kind of thing that's allowing this thing to move freely and not just like use gravity to allow it to just go one way, or it's not being pushed or anything. There's like a mechanism that's powering this and allowing it to move up and down the track without anyone like manning it. It takes, I would say it probably takes about 30 minutes on this cart, like stopping at certain stations along the way up this tunnel. And you see people in similar lines in similar caverns, massive caverns with many, many people all mining. And even like some like camps along the way. You would see that some of them are like frustrated that they can't get in the cart because usually they're empty at this point. Thank you for the reminder, Sarah. My bad. We got distracted. It's
Objection,
okay.
hearsay.
Yes. Thank you. So it takes you guys probably the greater part of 30 minutes riding in this cart up the tunnel until you finally make it to the largest cavern that you've seen yet. And it is like open on both sides with just this kind of like thin part of this railway system for the carts. And then it's like a sheer drop off on either side. And it's very bright in here, very hot and humid. There's more of the copper pipes along the walls and along the track here, just filling this place with hot, humid, steamy air. And there are hundreds of people working. There's more people waiting in line as you all get off. Some look relieved at the point of like, finally, I can get out of here kind of thing. And Rieta will guide you down the stairway, down into one of these caverns. The base of the caverns are all leveled and cleared off, save for certain storage areas for the materials that are being mined here. And there's bulbs of light kind of haphazardly strewn about the cavern, some kind of guiding a passageway along the floor of the cavern here, some kind of just like, you ever take like those little sticky hands and you just like throw them at the wall and like see where they stick, and you have a bunch of them and toss them up there? That's kind of what it looks like with the pipe system and where the lights are placed in here. There's a bunch of lights right next to one area, and then there's none in a bigger area, and then there's a couple over here. It doesn't make any sense. But eventually Rieta will guide you towards a camp at the base of this cavern. And it looks like there's kind of like shack-looking homes here. There's some children playing in the dirt and kind of kicking some coal around. Not that many people resting in this area, but those that are look wiped, look completely drained of any and all energy. There's like a small food station where several workers are in line for their rations and for like refilling of their water skins. And eventually Rieta will lead you towards one of the more established like domiciles down here. It looks to be a little bit more sturdy than most of them. And you see a couple dwarves standing guard outside, and they'll nod as they see Rieta, and they lead you all in, looking at the rest of you a bit confused as to what a human and a gnome and a tiefling are doing here. But nevertheless, you're led inside, and it's a fairly barren domicile. There's a table, there's what looks like it used to be a chair, or at least a functioning chair until it was like broken and then used as like a second-hand version of something you can try and sit in. Small areas where people can like try and sleep with like haystacks and blankets, maybe like a pillow. And you see about 4 other dwarves in there, kind of huddled around one of the tables. They have like, you know, caps on with little candles on them with mirrors to help project the light. Some even have like an enchanted like stone that's gleaming light outwards. And the largest of the dwarves kind of has a bit of a posturing stance as they're pointing on the map of what appears to be the tunnel system and showcasing, no, they need to take their breaks here in about 30 minutes. If anyone can go and check on them and make sure that they're okay. It looks like Cavern B4 is having a bit of a rough time getting some rations and water to them, so if anyone can check on them within, kind of like looks at like a weird box that they have on their arm. In about 2 hours, we've recently stocked them, but they're running through it pretty quickly. And they kind of just keep talking. Rieta seems a little nervous, trying to like get their attention, and she can't quite be heard by them.
Rieta, which one is Mr. Redspine?
Oh, him. And she'll point towards the larger dwarf.
Now, when we're talking large, how large are we talking here for a dwarf?
How tall is Mistwyn?
Maybe like 4'2".
This dwarf is a solid 5 feet tall.
Oh shit. Okay, so not the biggest dwarf I've seen, but big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's kind of husky, a bit bulky as well. Kind of rivals the stature of a turtle that you might know.
Oh.
More so much in build, not so much in height.
Yeah. Interesting. I suppose the polite thing to do would be to wait. So wait a bit longer to see if they disperse.
Okay.
Mistwyn.
Yeah.
Before we get too much further, like as we're kind of waiting, Kelby's gonna sneak up.
What are they doing? All this mining. What are they looking for?
It's never been this extensive. My family in the past has been very against strip mining, and it was all about sustainability, and it's not this. I don't know what this is.
What were they mining for?
Spare resources, coal. We would mine out veins, and if we found any veins of precious materials or coal or anything like that. We would mine it out, but we would never carve out these large swaths. This is obscene. I don't know. Rieta here seems to believe that King Brahm is still in power. Who was the king the last time I was here. Oh, we have we can talk to each other in our heads. I've been,
You can just say that that's what you guys have been doing if you want.
yeah, sorry, I forgot. So I've been trying to hide what I say. Rieta here seems to believe that my father and mother are still in power, but that seems odd. They would be extremely old at this point. And apparently my sister has run away or is missing. And then there's all of these changes. I can't believe that anyone from my family would be responsible for this.
Kelby, who's kind of like watching these other, like, she's listening but watching the dwarves, is just going to, like, as Mistwyn keeps talking, will kind of just hold up a little hand. And then she'll very loudly go and just like exaggerated, like cough really loud, like to try and draw the dwarves' attention, knowing that like Rieta was kind of getting talked down and trying to get their attention.
Okay. I think like one of the dwarves at the table that's very obviously not Mr. Redspine is kind of taken aback, and then they notice you and they like stop what they're doing. They just like put down any materials that they were holding onto the table and like, what are you doing here? Who are you all? I'm sorry, we don't... visitors aren't allowed here.
I'm sorry, we've come here from the other side of the Sirius, and well, we haven't been here for a long time. Things seem to be different. I'm sorry, we're looking for Mr. Redspine.
The dwarf that was talking looks like really confused and just looks up at the larger dwarf, who will very gently place down the quill that he was holding on to, and basically like the fantasy version of a clipboard, which could just be a clipboard if we're being honest here. Just puts that down on the table as well and sticks his hands behind his back. That would be me. Can I help you? Are you lost?
Perhaps. Is it possible for us to speak alone?
He just looks down at the other dwarves in the room and just kind of nods and finally meets eyes with Rieta and kind of gives a like a knowing smile and a wave. She'll give the same look back towards you guys, and then also exit with the other dwarves out the entrance that you guys came through. He'll circle around to the other side of the table and put his hands on the table itself, kind of like hunching over it a bit, and then looks up at you. There's like a single light bulb illuminating this area. It's just hanging from the ceiling and over this table. So you get kind of like a shadowy down effect of light cascading down this dwarf's face. So you're lost. you found your way in the mines. Not very safe.
I
And you wanted to speak alone, away from everyone. Curious.
I suppose.
What can I do for you?
You see, we're not super well acquainted with how things are running around here these days, and I think I may just. I have to ask if there were different factions among Stonegarden. Which one would you belong to?
Different factions. Well, as you can see, we're in the mines, so you would be able to assume that we're among the miners.
Aye, but more ideological factions.
How do you mean?
It's pretty clear that things aren't going well here, and I can only assume that not everybody likes whoever's in charge.
No one likes having a boot on their neck and telling them what that they must do. So no. Keen observation there, sir.
Hey, but whose boot?
Who are you?
I'm a concerned citizen.
But not from Stonegarden, so you're unaware of our situation. Any gestures
haven't-
about the room?
I haven't been here for 50 odd years.
I've never been here, for the record.
I would believe that. Small one. And you as well, and he would look over towards you, Anders, and you, Poignet. What an odd group to be passing through.
I mean, it's kind of crazy in the world in general these days, right?
You are correct about that one. But at least we're safe in here.
Are you?
It's what we're told. Not necessarily what we believe, but it's what we're told.
Then why do you parrot this idiocy at me? We are safe, if it is not what you believe.
Apologies, it's a habit.
Again, friend, I am just a concerned citizen. Who has their boot on your neck?
This is such an odd question. A concerned citizen passing through Stonegarden. Asking which of the boots up top is pressing on our necks.
Right. It's like a turn of phrase. You know how sometimes you go places and like the phrases that you use don't work
Right.
as good.
Right. I understand. I know the term.
Right. He says concerned citizen. I think he means like, you know, of the world. You know, not necessarily here.
He
I'm Kelby, by the way.
wish it was under better circumstances, Miss Kelby, but
Me too.
it's nice to meet you.
I know.
You've got a wit about you. I like that. You, sir, and he'll stare right back at you, Mistwyn. Where do you hail from, again?
Oh, let's just say from the Sirius. Listen, I don't know who's dressed here. And the last time I was here, things were much different.
You saying it been 50 years now. It's a night and day difference. It's a difference between celebrating the culture and dreaming about it. Now, are you here to continue to berate us with questions as we try to go about our lives? Or are you truly just passing through? Ever curious one. And I'm sorry, I did get your name.
A dirge.
Right. Mr. Dirge. What's your family name?
Boulder Mash.
Bouldermash. Dirge Bouldermash. Can't say I know of the Bouldermash family. You say you hail from the Sirios.
Again, family's not been around for about 50 years or so.
Aye.
You'll hear across the mental communication.
Yeah, he's not buying that.
LB.
Well, I don't know a single dwarf within the Sirios, along the Menagerie Coast, or in the whole of Exandria that doesn't know about what's going on here in Stonegarden. It's a bit of the propaganda, you see. Those that don't know about it means we're doing our job wrong.
I'm from really far away, and I live in a place that wouldn't know. What are you doing here exactly?
Extracting any bit of wealth that we can from this stone. Anything. Mostly gems when we can find them.
But why?
Now that's the question, isn't it? Why are we all working so hard for little to no return to us? To us, the ones who are bringing about this work. And he slams his hands on the table. To us who are dying in these tunnels, and he slams his hand once again, and the inkwell spills over on the map. To us who had to forfeit our homes so that they can continue to grow their wealth.
Who is they?
Ironfists. The king and the queen? And their advisor?
Advisor? Who's that?
It really has been a while since you've passed through, hasn't it?
I told you it's been a long time. Please.
The Dragonborn.
I don't know of this one.
Oh boy. What a... What a way to return to Stonegarden then.
And if there were a means of change, a possibility to stop this oppression, would you take it?
Actively working to do so. With the little resources that are afforded to us. There are thousands of us. So you would think strength in numbers. But they've got wit and cunning. And that fucking steam that never seems to end.
Well, I don't know what happened to the king and the queen. or who this advisor is, but if Helena is not here to claim her right to the throne, then someone has to help the people.
You know her by her first name and not as the princess.
I've
Were
not
you
been
friends?
completely truthful with you. I left when my brother was assassinated 50 years ago.
You see him kind of work through this in his mind. There's a bit of a sparkle behind his eyes as he comes to the realization of what you said.
I don't want the throne. I never did. That's why I left. But I don't want this.
Where did you go? Why did you leave us? And he looks desperate at this point. He has pushed aside the table entirely with little to no resistance. It kind of just hits the wall, and all of the papers and everything on top of it just kind of scatter a bit. Why would you leave us?
I didn't know I was leaving you to this. When Elias died, it was my fault. How could I run a kingdom when I was the reason my brother died? No. It was Helena's job. But if she turned it down, then we have work to do.
God's damn right we do. Now that you're back.
I'm not back to stay.
Why not? How are you here in the flesh, only here as a passerby? As if to say, oh, hello, family and citizens. It's been 50 years. I've taken a nice runabout to Wildemount. Off to go do more runabouting.
No, I don't think you understand me. We're going to take down this regime. But I'm not going to stay. There will be some changes.
Best of luck to the both of us for attempting this. Anyone who's stood up within the last 20, 30 years has not come out of that throne room in one piece.
Will you get us there? Or at least into the city? We can do it.
You see him think this over in his head. He goes over towards the table that he's pushed against the wall. Starts to kind of organize things. This is not what I was planning on today. We were working on mustering enough courage to ask the overseers for more rations, not incite a bloody rebellion. Believe me, people have been hoping for this for years. Mistwyn for years. We've lost so many, and gained any that have set foot in these tunnels. No one has been allowed to leave, save for those trusted enough to make deliveries. That's it. We are trapped here. This, and he looks at the domicile around him and kind of gestures to the large cavern. These are our tombs. We're nearly digging them for ourselves.
Get us into the city, and you'll have your freedom. We all will.
Right. The city. That's gonna take some doing. It's much like this. It's not like you remember. No one, save for the king, the queen, the advisor, and their guards, live there. Nobody. The small market square, not really there anymore. All the homes on the street level built into the mountainside, occupied otherwise. Because while we're mining down here, they've converted everything up there into power and to brewing. Excessively. This is the land of the excess now. We can't get rid of it fast enough.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. Help us do something.
I understand this will take some time to get us into the city. Do you have somewhere where we can wait? Okay.
Here, okay? Your Majesty, and he makes a large gesturing bow.
Please don't do that.
Sorry, we've all grown to resent the crown. In your time away, what were you doing? Where did you go that was so important? So much more entertaining than home.
Mistwyn reaches behind him and pulls the urn off of his belt and just puts it on the table. Finding a final resting place.
It's taken you 50 years and you haven't found one yet.
None good enough for the only true king that we could have had.
Hi. For Elias, any of us would have done anything. I hope you know that. We all loved him. You were family to him, but he was family to us as well.
Take it back. Well, if there's anything we can do in the meantime, please let me know, but we're at your service for now.
Well,
Or at least I am.
appreciated. What about you lot? And he looks at the rest of you.
I don't mean to suppose or propose anything onto my companions, but again, if you need anything, I am here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Redspine,
Aye.
was it?
Yes. You can call me
Um,
Dussuk if you'd like. Mr.
Dussuk.
Redspine feels a bit too high up there. Dussuk is fine.
Okay, Jessica, would it be alright, if we just had a moment to kind of talk through some next steps, for us really quick? I mean, I don't want to impose, but, can we do that?
And Kelby's kind of looking at Anders, and pointy, like.
Yes. Anders will nod.
I can go step outside if you need the room. Just know it's not very well insulated here, so what you say will very likely be heard by myself and the guards outside.
Okay. Thank you. We'll keep that in mind.
Right. He just kind of nods to you all and pauses for a moment before you, Mistwyn, and he makes a bit more of a bow towards you. Gathers a couple papers and the clipboard and makes his way out.
The second he gets outside of the door, Kelby is going to walk over to the door and cast Minor Illusion right by the door on her side, and it's going to sound like a kazoo playing like, bzz, 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 like, so there's like the sound blocking our conversation.
Yes.
And she's going to turn back around into the room and like hold her hands out.
What the fuck was that?
Does she say that out loud?
I was going to
Yes,
say,
she says it out loud.
you know we don't have to do this out loud, right?
She'll kind of like get frustrated and take a couple steps and like put her little hands on her hips and like over like the mind link, like look at everybody.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I'm sorry. These are my people, and I can't let them go on like this.
I mean, such things happen with the passage of time, especially in this stressful environment. Things change. But you must do
Okay.
what you feel is right. And I, for one, will go with you.
Seriously? What about what we're supposed to be doing? What about the amulets and getting where we need to go?
Should we allow civilization to degrade to the point where people are
What about-
slaves?
What about Rom? He can't hold on for much longer.
Really, I'm sorry, but Rom
We must.
and Shuttering and our mission means everything to me, but this means more. I can't just pass this up.
Things are very unbalanced here. We must try to restore the balance.
Oh, wait. She kind of like gestures back out to like the big old caverns and stuff, and then like turns and looks like at the group.
You wanna overthrow a town, a city?
Sassafit! Enough of this whining! Oh! In my head constantly! And Poigny finds himself like up in your business, and he's gripping the collar of your shirt. And now that he's up close, you see that like he's got tears in his eyes and he's sweating. And immediately as he's looking at you, he like releases his grip. And looks around the room, kind of embarrassed for a second, and excusez-moi, and he steps outside the door.
I'm sorry, Kelby. If
Wish
you
Turley was here.
And Kelby's gonna turn away and go sit in a corner and just sit down and pull her knees up and like put her head like down on her knees and just curl up in the corner.
Anders will look at Mistwyn in kind of in broadcast mode, except to Poignet at this point. So basically just between him and Kelby and... Sorry, Mistwyn and Kelby. And to Kelby's point, there has to be a line where we say what we want to do here is not possible in a reasonable amount of time given the scope of what we were originally tasked to do. The balance of this world must outweigh the immediate balance of your home. We can always come back. It does not look like the situation will change much in the relative space of time, but if we can get a quick kill, so to speak, it will be worth it.
We go and we pass this up. What's to say that the next mission is even more urgent? And the one after that takes us to faraway lands or the complete opposite direction?
Let me try to put in another way. In perspective, if the world ceases to exist, this problem is moot.
But if the world does not cease to exist, and my people continue to suffer, what's worse, non-existence or continued suffering? I would say suffering.
I might disagree with you a little bit there, my friend. I understand you. I do.
If need be, I can stay. I know losing Turley is a blow, but if the mission must continue, the three of you can continue on and I can stay, but I cannot leave my people. Not now that I know what is going on.
Listen, I was not saying you must make a decision one way or the other right now. I said there must be a line that we make the decision. That is all. I'm willing to go with you to see what the actual situation is, and if we can do something about it quickly and move along. But I have to prioritize the greater good. We cannot let the world be destroyed. We cannot let the current state of wandering souls continue if we can possibly stop it. We just cannot. Because those same things are going to be happening here as well. And you've seen what they can do. Giant stone, gravity-defying monsters. What kind of suffering will those bring to your people? That's all I'm saying. You don't have to decide right now. If you must stay, you must stay. That is your path. Just like Turley's path took him away. I understand. And I'm with you, to a point. That's all.
In your head, you hear the way we need to go is on the other side. We would have to go through the city anyway.
Very well. That sounds like our line.
If we get there and we can't resolve it, You all can continue and I will stay. I have a feeling, though, that this advisor is the one that needs to be dealt with. I don't know who they are. We've never had advisors like this. And I have a feeling that something nefarious is happening. So, if that is agreeable, it's on the way.
Kelby, what do you think?
What do I think about what?
Should we at least have a look?
She'll kind of like tilt her head to the side, and you'll see that her face is really pink and blushed, and there'll be kind of like a glint of tears under her eyes as she looks up.
I mean, you're gonna do it anyways, right? Doesn't matter.
And she'll stand up and kind of like pull at her shirt.
We all have our own paths and stuff, right?
That's right. And our path takes us through the city anyway.
Fine. I'm gonna go find Poigny.
And she'll kind of stomp her way to the door and not really look at him, and kind of wrench the door open, and as stompily, huskily as a little gnome can, kind of like puff out of the building and out onto the street to find Poigny.
How far does she need to go in order to find Poigny?
Not far. He would have run maybe a few hundred feet away from the building just to get. I don't know. I guess what's the range on the spell until he stops hearing voices? I guess
Let's see. Well, he wouldn't hear anything unless Anders was relaying it, because that's the way it works. It's out from Anders and into Anders, so he would have to be relaying to each person what everyone else is saying, because it's just between him and that. So you wouldn't have heard anything after your outburst about voices in your head.
Sure. So he probably would have walked 100 feet, and the minute he stopped hearing voices is when he would have stopped.
The range is a mile.
Shit. All right, yeah. So he presumes that he's out of range of the spell. He probably would have walked about 100 feet before quitting. Is there any water down here or anything like that? Any bodies of water that are just maybe trickles of water from stalactites or a creek or something?
There are small puddles of water from the steam in the air kind of condensing around these stalactites and dropping onto the ground, but they're not they're puddles at best.
Okay, yeah, he's got a rag out underneath one of the dripping constants, and he's just patting his face and wiping the back of his neck with it. Again, maybe 30 yards.
He'll hear Kelby kind of storm up behind him, angry little steps, and then she'll do it.
We.
I don't let anyone talk to me like that. What makes you think you're an exception?
Poigny will turn around and look at you, and he's wet from having patted his face down with water, but there's still puffiness around his eyes.
You'll see that Kelby has also clearly been crying.
Mes excuses, Lumiere. that outburst was it was not me. I am this is difficult. I am reminded of where I came from when you were all inside my head speaking. It was like being part of the Legion again. And you did not deserve that. I lost control. After being apart for so long, it is uncomfortable to have people inside your head. Again.
You'll see Kelby, who had kind of like thought she was gonna have to like have a fisticuffs of words, so to speak, kind of like roll her shoulders, like as she was not expecting an immediate like apology, and kind of look around.
Did it hurt you?
No. Not physically. But there is something missing. Whatever witchcraft Anders has used reminded me of what it felt like. And I did not expect it to cut as deeply as it did. It was sobering that I have been convincing myself this is some form of torment, some torture. I do not wish to believe.
Kelby will hold up a hand and take a couple steps closer to Poignet and look at him like directly in his eyes.
Winnie, I would never hurt you. Never.
Until this moment, I did not think you could. I was surprised to find that I did not like having voices once again. Something I grew up with. I know this is not an illusion, not an imaginaire placed here for me, but try being separate from what you knew for 10 years. And then try being forcefully reminded what you lost. All the same. I am not one given to emotional outbursts like this. Tomfoolery, oui. The occasional act of violence, oui. I don't know how to process any of this, but we'll try to aim the outbursts elsewhere in the future.
Okay.
What is the plan? Are we killing the idiot's family, or
He's not an idiot. He's brave and he cares a lot. If we don't figure this out, he's gonna leave too.
take solace in the fact that Turley is still on this side of the prime material, and as such we can always find him. It is very hard to misplace a 700-pound tortoise. I'm sure if you listen to the ground very carefully, you will hear him stomping about. But as it stands, we have other things we must tackle first. And then we can hunt your soup ingredient friend.
Yeah. You want to go into this stupid city where they're like making stuff, and there's some stupid guy telling the king and queen stuff to do. I don't know what we're gonna do, but they want to go look at it and figure it out, I guess.
I cannot think of anything else stupider that I would like to do. So
Kelby
this
will
have to suffice.
Kelby will just kind of do like that half-hearted giggle and just kind of fall like into Poignier's side and wrap her like arms around his legs and just hold really tight.
All right. Valid.
You're a really bad hugger, Poignier. I need you to know that.
Work in progress.
I don't know if you'll ever get better. This might be the worst hug I've ever had. And I had to hug trees for a while because I was all by myself.
It's quite unpleasant. I agree. It's and like for a moment he puts his arms around your like head as if to like turn it, but then it's like, no, how do I no. Sorry, every time I go to make the hug, it turns into a head twist.
Kelby
I am not accustomed.
kind of like
I will learn. When we find Tortue, perhaps he can give me lessons. He seems very fond of Mistwyn's corpse dog. And has not left it alone for nary a moment. Perhaps even a gruff moron like him can teach me whatever the nine hells that was.
We should go back and tell them that we're gonna go along with the plan.
Leads the way.
Okay. And Kelby will kind of head back to the building with Poigny in tow.
Dusick will still be like outside of the home and kind of gesture in as if to say, "May I come with?"
Yeah. You can probably come in. Did you like my song?
Aye, it was a jaunty tune. Can't say I've heard anything like it.
Kelby will kind of like cock her head to the side and just say,
You can say it was terrible. It was kind of supposed to be.
Just didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Kelby looks at her face all like red and swollen from crying and go,
I appreciate that.
so we walk into the house.
God damn it. Dusik will follow both Poignet and Kelby back into the home. So, what's the plan?
I do not believe we have one, and he will have put on the mask again in front of Anders and Mistwyn. But this is where we do best, no? And he claps Mistwyn on the shoulder. Or die trying. Probably die trying. You're going to die, just so you know.
We're all going to die at some point, Mounier.
Leads the way. And he'll press to digitation the words "kick me" on the back of his armor. And then tentatively using the psychic link, look over at Kelby and say, I made a deal with the turtle. I have to fuck with him until the deal is over. Please don't tell him.
Kelby will just nod in response.
So, Dusik,
Hi.
how do we get into the city?
You're not gonna like it.
Oh, I'm sure I'm not. Tell me anyway.
Right. So, you know our cart system here?
Aye?
They only allow the overseers and deliveries to maybe all the way up to the city. We are not allowed to step foot back into our homes until they deem fit. Gods know
Right,
that's
so-
not going to happen anytime soon.
So we need to hijack a shipment and kill some overseers, kill some overseers, take the
Why,
uniforms.
whoa. Why do we gotta kill so many people?
Okay, maybe knock out some overseers.
Gotta be really careful. Remember, if things die, they don't
All
really
right.
die.
I'm still getting used to that.
Pardonnez-moi?
They become souls. The fireflies. When things die, they don't go away. They're trapped here.
We have a strict policy of death around here. If anyone's to die, they're to hike down that tunnel, or rather be led out the tunnel as quickly as possible. This is a dead-free zone.
So we knock out some overseers and
Aye.
hijack a shipment and
Wait,
fake
are
our
you
way.
saying the fireflies cannot get through the doors into this tunnel system?
If we can get the dead out fast enough, they don't know where they are, and they don't know how to return. There are a few that slip in occasionally, but that's for those at the end of the tunnels to deal with. They're equipped enough. But I'm liking this plan of taking over a shipment. That was easier than what we usually do.
What the hell do you usually do?
Just think on that for a second. It's the only other way to get into the city.
Prostitution.
You hide in the crates?
Oh, it's the sewers.
The sewer, that's what that was.
Oh.
It's a
Well, hold
nasty
on now.
deed.
Hold on now.
Aye.
If we were to knock out some overseers,
Mm-hmm.
can you make it? Can you tuck them away somewhere until we're done? I would hate for a commotion to be started over here with the enforcement before we get everything shipshape.
Right. Oh, we've done it before. We've gotten caught while doing it, so suspicions will arise when they're not at their post. It's a very strict schedule around here.
Well, technically, we only need 1 or 2 overseer uniforms. I highly doubt our larger friends here will pass as dwarven overseers. Kelby and
What
I,
uniforms
maybe.
look like?
The uniforms?
Yeah. I just need to
Nothing-
see one.
Oh, I mean, I don't have one on hand in my wardrobe over here. I can describe it to you. At the very least, if we happen to encounter an overseer, you'd be able to see it. But it's mostly a dusty blue sort of tunic with a iron fist patch on their left breast. Got a bit of silly hats with lights attached to them.
Kelby will nod and look at Mistwyn. I won't need a uniform. I just need to see one.
Aye. So I'm thinking we stuff our larger friends here into crates, make them into the shipment, and then Kelby and I can be the fake overseers, get into a minecart, and head along our way.
What a time this
Technically,
will be.
only
Anders
2
looks-
overseers. I would prefer not to sit in a crate.
Anders looks at Mistwyn, or not Mistwyn, Poignet when he says stuff. The 2 larger of us in the crate.
I would prefer not to be in a crate. Are there usually only 2 overseers? I have bad lumbar support.
Well, you see, I'm just thinking that, in terms of sneaking around, if you're not smaller and can pass as a dwarf,
I can
probably.
get us in.
Do you mean like this? And I'll grab another card out of my deck, the lovers, and put it over my face. And then as I wave it down, I transform into kind of a caricature of Mistwyn, just chubbier cheeks, a bigger beard that's wider, really bright orange, and kind of a rotund belly. But like almost as if Mistwyn had been stung by a bee and grabbed a Tesla coil.
You see Dusset kind of like, with a shock, like, step away from you all and just, God, so, haven't seen magic in a while. Very, very nice trick there, Mr. Tiefling.
This what we are to look like? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Do the effect.
You can
Sorry,
just not talk, it's fine. Or you can try your best.
No, I want to hear this.
God
I
damn
do
it.
too.
A thought crossed my mind and now I'm going to run with it, but it made me laugh. I must do the voices of the dwarves.
We're waiting there, Mr.
Boy,
Tiefling.
howdy. It sure is rootin' tootin' down here in Dwarfville.
Well, then, now that's just offensive.
Get along, little dead doggy. Do all dwarves have dead dogs that they walk with? Or is that
What the fuck are you on about?
bigoted of me to say?
He's just gonna look over at Misty and... You have a dead dog?
Cowabunga.
It's a long story.
I don't really want to know. Just...
Mr. Redspine,
Hi.
who is this advisor? This dragonborn.
Scum of the earth. She is. One Miss Taltic Visera has...
Jam, would you mind putting that in the Discord, please?
I got you. 1 second.
You the best.
Howdy.
I'm sorry, there's a comma in there. Whoops.
Thanks.
She's been an advisor to King Brahm and Queen Ophelia for the greater part of 25, almost 30 years now.
How is a dragonborn advising dwarven royalty?
We thought it was a joke. We still think it's a joke. But she has a bit of a grip on our society, as it were. Hard to say.
Very curious.
Curious indeed. The king and queen don't really speak up much.
Interesting.
I
So I have a one last transportation question, since it's been suggested that I might ride in the crate.
Aye.
So as the cart arrives at wherever it's going, is there a stop beforehand, or will it be clear? Is it light or dark there?
Anders,
Yes.
you're not gonna have to ride in a crate.
Well,
Neither
that's
will-
what I was
neither will
going to
Queen.
say. I mean, I'm very
You hide really good in the dark, right?
good at getting in and out of places, so I just need a little bit of information so I know what I'm dealing with. And he'll step back into the shadow corner of the room and then step out of the corner in the opposite room.
God,
the
the
opposite
magic
side of the
again.
room.
I can't with you all. I can't. You go bone dry for magic for nigh on 3-4 decades, and suddenly you're just getting your own private show here in your own domicile. Jesus.
I mean, it
Kelby
is-
will kind
I'm just good
Kelby's-
with the shadows.
You are.
Kelby's standing there, kind of twiddling her thumbs as this is happening. And she'll be like,
Yes, Anders, it's very impressive.
and she'll kind of reach her hand out, like towards you, and you'll see like on her fingertips there'll be like a little bit of like starlight. It kind of like they kind of glow for a second, and then the starlight will shift into shadow, like around her fingers, as if she's about to cast something, and you'll watch it kind of go up her arms, and her fingertips will like start to fade, and then she'll stop, and she'll say,
I know something about getting things places without being seen. You and Poignet can, as long as you can ride on the cart with us and stay close. I mean, technically, I think we could do it to all of us, but on the off chance that I can't, or we need to talk to someone.
at least I can impersonate one of the overseers. I think Kelby, you could do so as well. I think you would pass.
So we get
Not-
to the city, we get past the overseers, we don't kill anything, we can avoid it, make our way to the castle, and then what?
I suppose we confront the king, queen, and advisor.
Okay, we call her a drug-loving ass canoe and then call it a day? Like, what do we do?
got a mouth on you. God.
Thank you.
Yes, do take that as a compliment.
I've worked really hard on it, actually. You'd be surprised.
You should be proud.
Kelby and Mistwyn, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is extremely unusual for a dwarven clan to have an outsider as an advisor to the royal family. I don't think it will be as simple as shouting expletives in her direction. There is something more sinister at work here. I am getting the feeling.
I agree. It is likely we are going to have to kill the advisor.
Good luck with that.
Mistwyn, you can't just
I'm-
kill all of your problems.
That's not exactly what I meant, but I don't think it will be a simple task, is what I'm saying.
Here, show me your feats of strength. I've seen their hoodly doodly magics.
Hey,
And
Can we
Kelby
do
will snap
airing of
and
the
minor
grievances
illusion
first?
a beard onto her face that kind of just like sits in the air in front of her face, and she kind of lines up behind it.
what are you calling hoodly doodly?
I was going to ask if you wanted to have a beard for your disguise, because I do have a disguise kit.
Oh no, that won't be necessary.
And she'll kind of like grin, like she's getting really excited.
I'm gonna have a disguise that'll knock your socks off.
I'm sure you will.
I'm more asking this of you, Mistwyn, and your friends here. Because Toltec is ruthless. Just the epitome of agony.
Aye.
And you feel confident enough that you can march straight in there, reclaim your family?
Well, we have to try something.
Damn right.
It may not be as simple as marching straight in there, but once we're in the city, we can do a little reconnaissance and see if there is a better way. If not, then we go in.
Right. Well, if there's anything myself or my network are able to do to help you out, just say the word. We've been waiting for an opportunity like this for decades.
I will say, it may be a lot to ask, but if we come up with a plan, could we expect some sort of diversion over here?
Huh.
You said that the city is populated by the King Queen Advisor and their guards. It would be a lot easier if some of those guards were diverted elsewhere.
Don't know if it'll make a difference with the amount that they have, but diversion we can do.
Let's Hey, I know. I'll signal you. I have an idea.
You gonna tell me the signal, or am I just going to,
You'll know it when you hear it.
Well, I doubt it, because sometimes you think that people are gonna know it, and they don't. Like, there was this one time I was performing in a tavern, I thought everybody would know, like, the line. You know, I like sing and they sing, and they didn't, and it was really awkward.
It's going to be a big boom.
Ah, yes. The best of the signals that I know.
That's like the only one that I know, so well, it should be good.
True Iron Fist, you are.
All right. Are we ready?
How long will it take us to get into the city?
With the carts and the amount of stops that they have from here, Probably about an hour.
And then we'll be checked at the stops.
There are inspection points, so anything you lot can do with your magics to try and hide yourselves best you can, I would suggest it. Heartily. Tenfold.
Kelby will look at Poignet and Anders. When we get to the cart, I can make you invisible.
Now fully in character. Well, I don't know. I kind of like my disguise now. I think I'm a spitting image of a here, a dwarf. I do say so myself. Boy, howdy.
Wait,
How's this?
did you spend some of your time in the southern clans? Because that
No,
accent.
this is how all dwarves sound to me. You are pretty much all bumpkins. Am I using that right word? Bumpkins?
That
Oh,
is
gods.
that is quite a dwarven insult. But it sounds funny coming out of your mouth, so I'll allow it.
Odd to see that the liberators of Stonegarden are a destitute royal, a human who links with the shadows, a mystifying gnome, and an impersonator. All right. Not
Yeah,
what
we're trying
I...
to waste this character. Are you saying I'm gonna have to be invisible or something? Or
No, it's very good. Please continue with it.
If by impersonator you mean dumbass, then yes.
I wasn't going to say it outright. But here we are.
it may be because I was raised eating crayons, but I've never heard that insult before. What's that word mean? Dumbass?
It's
Is that a city?
Damas.
Is that a type of steel?
Kelby kind of rolls her eyes and then looks at Anders and is like, well, all right, I can make you invisible.
I can also make all of us a little bit sneakier as well.
Take this man and run with him with that. The more sneaky, the better.
Actually, a lot sneakier.
Kelby's going to nod and just say, all right, let's just circle up and hold hands and get this done with. And Kelby's gonna just start fucking buffing the shit out of us. I'm assuming Anders is as well.
We would probably wait
So-
till right before we went, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Are we just
going?
going though? Aren't we? Yeah.
We need to get the outfits, don't we?
No. Kelby will
Oh.
not require an outfit.
Okay.
I took care of that myself with the spell that I cast.
Well, do we need one for Mistwyn then?
We'll need one for Mistwyn.
Yeah.
But
gotta
we're
do
gonna
that
need.
first.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull a room on real quick. This one leaves.
Okay, so the plan is, let me write. Okay, step 1, get Mistwyn a uniform.
Step
Didn't you
2,
do
question
magic,
mark.
Mistwyn? Don't you do that? What did you call it? Doodly doodly?
Step 4, profit.
Yep.
So step 1, get uniform. Step 2, buffs. Step 3, sneak on carts.
Step 4, question mark.
Yep.
Step 5, profit.
Yep. Step
Like
5,
a true Ferengi.
face. The epitome of agony is what she was called.
Step 1, get the underpants. Step 2, question.
Agony.
Profit.
Six,
Book about insult.
profit.
I called it the epitome.
Okay. All right. Okay. Helmi will gather up her stuff, and she'll carefully remove the flag from her pack and tuck it away inside as we are going stealth mode. And say,
Okay.
I would like to know more about what this Caltech's about or what she can do, but I guess we'll figure it out. I've always been pretty good at playing by ear.
All right. Point me in the direction of where I can find one of these outfits.
an overseer that you can take out.
Where's the
Essentially.
closest overseer?
Or, I mean, if they have like a dresser where they have extra uniforms, we could just steal one, you know? Or is it kind of like one per person kind of deal?
Do the overseers live out here in the
I was
city?
going to say that they probably don't live down here.
They're on the outskirts of the city. Even they are not allowed. But they're closer to the heart of the city and therefore have better lodgings.
Okay. So, let me hit you with this. I can disguise myself as a very funny Pointy.
I
Pointy
thought so
can
too.
disguise...
Dwarven humor. Haha.
can disguise themselves. We can make you invisible at least enough to get into the city. Because I can only hold on to that spell for so long. Once we're in the city, we can try to find an actual uniform and make our way through that way.
I'm sorry, you want... I went Southern Clan for a second there. I'm sorry,
Boys working.
you want me to be invisible and hide around? I can do that, but...
Just on the carts till we can get closer and get you a uniform.
Okay, or just we can go completely into the city. That should work too, shouldn't it?
If it's gonna take us an hour, it's time constraints. Listen, any good smuggling job, you have to know your time constraints and you have to know your stops. The fact that I don't have a map to observe, like where our route's gonna be, is kind of stressing me out. That's not a good job.
You need a map.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Should have said so earlier, and he'll just like point you towards the table where they have a map of all the different routes for the card system.
Kelby's gonna put out her hands
Wow.
and
We,
move over to
Maybe
the
we
map.
should have looked around the room a little bit.
we were
before
probably a
we,
little short-sighted. This plan doesn't seem as slick as a June bug
That's what-
carapace anymore.
that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
And she's gonna stop and look at like the rest of the party.
Have none of you smuggled anything in your lives ever?
I mean, stealing is like smuggling, so...
No, it's not. It's very different. Stealing implies that you can take something and then just keep it forever. Smuggling means you have to get something, a lot of something, from point A to point B. It's different.
I mean, you have to get the
I've-
thing you're stealing from point A inside the other person's possession to point B outside the other person's possession. It's the same thing.
I've never smuggled, but I've been smuggled.
One time I tried to smuggle 3 gallons of beard oil, but got confused on the way there and drank it all. Get it? 'Cause I'm a dwarf.
Yeah, we need a route.
And Kelby's gonna just kind of turn away, like just done with the conversation, and like look at the map and start like tracing out to like figure out like what all can be done. And she'll be very serious while she does it. Like her little brow will like furrow, and she's doing math.
We can get to there. And use these back here. We can reinstate this. Diversion tactic here.
And like she'll be asking Mr. Redspine kind of like where like nearest out overseer like huts and stuff to kind of plot out a course as she writes out and kind of like it's not neat handwriting and it's not kid handwriting. It's kind of somewhere in between. She kind of writes out on this map essentially a smuggling plan, like from this duration invisible, once we hit here diversion, when we hit here diversion, and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Kelby seems pretty sure of herself with her smuggling plan here. Also, hello everyone. Welcome, Raiders. Our party are currently in the mountains of the Sirios Mountains here, trying to... How do you guys want to describe this? What is this crazy ass plan that you got going on here?
Trying to get smuggled
I
into
believe-
to the city.
I hope that Poignet tells us what the plan is.
Oh no. Well, I guess I'll run it down in character so I don't mess this up, because then I'll have to start all over again. But the plan as I see it is that Anders is going to do his, what did you call it? Hoodily disappear. And he's going to be invisible. We're also going to make this walking suit of plates invisible. And then Kelby, you are going to be an overseer. Is that correct? Are we finding you a uniform? Or you don't need one because you can hoodly doodly it. I am a spitting image of an overseer, a perfect dwarf representation, if I do say so myself. And we're just going to push a cart full of goods into town. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing. As long as nobody asks too many questions and we act like we own the place, this plan will work out swimmingly, is the understanding that I have.
What's the worst that could happen?
It finally happened. It happened.
As Anders says that, Kelby like holds her head in her hands.
Never say that before a job. Never say that before a job.
Smash cut to 3 hours later, where there was an explosion on the rails and we end up in the sewers.
Right, exactly.
Damn, where we were trying to avoid.
Damn it. I have to start over again. Howdy.
Oh god. Okay, so are you guys heading out of this domicile right now and looking for an overseer? Is that the current plan?
If go for it.
I think I'm being turned invisible.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea is we'll get on a cart, get to the outskirts of the city, or like get it like if we can get into the city and then do the thing. At some point, getting Mistwyn a uniform. I don't know if it's like super essential that it happens before, but I think it's just we're gonna head into the city.
Okay.
Poignet, Kelby, disguised up. Anders, Mistwyn.
I want to
invisible.
clarify something. These carts that are taking these shipments, are they manned? Like, is there a shipment of stuff with overseers in the cart with it, or is it just sent automatically?
It's just sent automatically.
Okay, so it's just a bunch of crates and stuff like that. So okay, got it. So it wouldn't make sense if we had a person in there. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Disguised as an
you
overseer.
would not need to be
Right.
inside because you are invisible.
Right, but
No one
you
can
are
see.
not.
You could
going
sit
to
on top. No,
Yes,
but I
Anders,
look,
but we're very good at lying.
I look like a dwarf, and I
Okay.
sound like a dwarf.
So there are inspectors that hop in the cart every now and again. So if someone were to hop in there with the goods, it wouldn't be a complete jump from reality.
I see.
Right.
Very
And we
well.
can say, don't worry, don't worry, we got this one. How's that bringing? Did I do a
That
good job?
sounded very close.
Okay, great.
Close enough that these people will probably believe it.
I am wholeheartedly convinced that you are 100% descendant of a dwarf, young gnome. I mean dwarf.
I am happy
Well,
to hear
thank
this.
you. I appreciate that, as I have been crafting art for some time.
And you know she is telling the truth because failure in this plan means death to everyone she knows and loves. So
Right?
she has no reason to lie.
Nothing like the fear of undeath to strike you to enact a plan that might free a city from oppression.
Precisely.
We're all
Act them
going
all.
to die.
I'm going to get back.
Oh
to
my
the
god,
car.
we're not all gonna die.
Not today. Not today.
Dusik, do you have 2 clipboards?
I have the one, and if you really need it, you can have it.
Can I have it, please?
This is what is missing from the plan.
Go for it.
Yes. Well,
Two clipboards.
I
That's the
imagine
question marks.
I imagine that inspectors would have a clipboard.
No one would question you if you had a clipboard.
That's right. It's
Why
very.
would
Kelby minor illusions a clipboard into her hand.
So
what
does
reason
Anders.
could they possibly have to question you? You have the clipboard.
I'm just going to smack the clipboard into Fournier's chest.
Oof.
It kind of rings a little bit.
Can we please? I think we have a foolproof plan.
You hear like a wet crunch. as you, like, but like the face is unfazed. Oh, that is going to leave a mark when I take this illusion down. Oh, Christ.
Kelby will clearly now like in better spirits. Will kind of like look around.
Okay, all right. Let's do this.
If we're ready, yes.
Ready as we're ever gonna be, I think.
Well,
Alrighty then.
Right.
I would pray to the gods for you, but they're not listening anymore. So, good luck. Be waiting for that boom.
I did not hear the part of the plan that involves a boom.
It's the signal. The signal.
But when's the signal going to go off? When do we do the boom?
Mistwyn is in charge of that.
You will decide when to boom.
Yes.
Okay, I trust you have this under control. God damn it, Sarah. I trust you have this under control, Mistwyn. You will be the boom decider.
This one walks away.
Fantastic.
Wrote down on the keyboard when the boom is going to. Eh?
Anyway, so I'm assuming you guys are walking towards the the cart area while you're having this conversation.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Just the little aftershock laughs are so cute. As I understand it, you all have devised a plan in order to essentially breach the city of Stonegarden deep within the Sirios Mountains. Acting as invisible cargo, or just cargo in general, or an overseer / inspector perhaps, as a cart full of goods makes its way to the city limits for inspection. Okay. So, anything you guys are doing in specifics leading up to the cart area? Please describe exactly what you're doing.
I'll go first.
Perfect.
So, Anders gets everybody to gather around, and he will mutter some words and make some hand motions, and a shadowy pulse will come out of him and kind of wash over everybody else, casting Pass Without a Trace. Everyone gets a +10 to stealth checks,
Hell yeah.
which means I'm rolling +24. And we cannot be tracked except by magical means.
Shit sticks.
And you leave behind no tracks or other traces of passage.
Pass without the trace, it is what it
Pass
is.
without a trace. And that lasts for an hour.
Damn. That level 9, though. Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kelby will hold her hands out to Mistwyn and Anders and kind of focus really like intently. Her little her druidic focus will glow like starlight, but then will kind of fade into shadow, and her fingers will do that weird shadowy thing from before, which will creep up their arms, and they will go invisible once that's done, she'll then look at Poignet and like grin as this like her focus will shimmer with starlight again, and she'll appear to like get a little bit taller as she casts disguise self on herself to look like a male dwarf with like a beard that's like bigger and like fuller than Mistwyn's with like more braids in it.
Showing you up, man.
With like kind of like the rough idea of the uniforms that were described to us. And then she'll also Anders, I mean
Yes.
Anders.
Yes. Very good. Yes.
Anders,
Yes. Dwarven lady.
take my hand. And she'll hold out her hand.
All right. Take your
She's
hand.
gonna cast and you too, Mistwyn. And she'll also cast Long Strider on the two of them. So they have let me see, 10 extra feet of movement.
Oh, all right.
Shit, yeah, dude. Okay. So remind me who's invisible again? Is it just Mistwyn? Or is it Mistwyn
Mistwyn and Anders.
and Anders? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Mistwyn is invisible. And then Poignet, you got your hoodly dooley.
Yeah. Poignet will reapply his disguised self and make his beard even. Now he looks like kind of like a chubby prospector. Like it's just like the beard is splayed out like he's just grabbed onto live wire, and he's like got big cheeks and a big like. There's a full set of really pouty lips, like two fat grubs poking out from under the beard. And he's made his eyes just like sparkly and blue. They've got like this kind of like kawaii vibe going. And he's told Dwa to come out and transform into a small decrepit dog. Like not a big, cool like Saint Bernard like Fergus, but instead like a Shih Tzu that's been left in the dryer too long. And has like some of its fur burnt off. It's got like one cataract eye and the tongue like hangs out on the left.
No!
And it like struggles to breathe a whole bunch, and it's just like sitting on my lap while I sit on the cart waggling my little legs singing Froggy went a courting and he did right.
Yes.
I know that exact dog.
And when it barks, it doesn't bark. It makes like a sound.
Oh, that poor thing.
Yep.
Okay. So Dusick will be like witnessing this from afar. He'll be up on the platform to get onto the carts. Just like kind of keeping an eye out, make sure no one else is paying attention, and everyone else is just like literally slaving away, so they're too busy to care. But he's like ensuring that y'all are fitting okay in the carts. And there's two main large carts that are used for transport up to the city. They always have a crate, kind of a small catch-all for things that don't fit in the crate, like gems or coal or something that couldn't necessarily be packed away, and then extra space in the event that there was like an inspector or something that needed to come along. So there's like just enough room for you all to fit on these two carts, along with this full shipment back up to the city. Dusick will kind of slap a hand on the side of one of the carts as if to, like, you know, bless the travels all the way up to Stonegarden itself. Waiting on the boom.
Boom.
Waiting on the boom. Alright. God's speed to you all. If they even care to intervene.
Shelby will turn really fast, and her like full beard will whip around. She makes eye contact and she'll like finger guns. You do, partner.
God's help us all. And he'll like pull a lever, and the carts will just like shoot off up into the tunnel at kind of an alarming speed. The speed in which the carts were going when you guys were initially moving from the entrance to the tunnel up to this area. I would say it was about like 10 miles an hour, so a decent speed for a cart. These are like 30, 35, just like barreling through, kind of bobbing and weaving through some of these other caverns and mine shafts, and you see people kind of back out of the way because they recognize this is a shipment. We gotta get the fuck out of the way. And it will take the greater part of an hour just barreling up this tunnel as you guys head towards the city. Is there anything you're doing while you're in the cart as you wait to get up there?
No.
I have doffed my armor and have put it amongst the shipment somewhere.
Okay. Cool.
Kelby is just gonna make sure that she's kind of wedged in, like into the cart, kind of holding up the front and squinting, trying to make sure she can like see when there's gonna be like a stop or something. But she's just keeping it. She's got her head on a swivel, looking out to make sure like if anything's trying to see us, she tries to see it first.
Okay. The most that you guys see on your trek up through the tunnel are a couple smaller, slower carts that are going the opposite way, bringing people further down into the tunnels. And then eventually, maybe about 45, 50 minutes into your trek, you'll see another cart just ahead of you, similar size, similar kind of composition of everything that's in it. And then eventually, maybe about 5 minutes after that, another cart just behind you kind of fall in line as the track that you're on is leading directly into the city. You see the smaller carts like veering off into the different mine shafts and the different caverns and the places that are being mined. Even like some of the living areas for all these people now. But the line that you're on is a direct path into the city, and it kind of feels like you're going faster and faster. More and more carts like lining up as this seems to be the final shipment for the day. And eventually it heeds to a point where you're kind of going on a steep incline, kind of like a roller coaster. And eventually kind of reaching that apex point and coming to a bit of a slowed stop at what appears to be an inspection station. Those of you looking around will see several overseers, some of them looking a little bit more important than just the typical making sure things are okay, going through and retrieving the crates, taking out the bags, taking anything of any sort of value out of these carts. You do see a couple carts ahead of you. There are like inspectors and a couple overseers in some of these carts, so you've like passed through stealthily with that. But as they get to you, is there anything that you guys would like to do as you're being approached by these people?
Kelby will kind of sit up straight, and before they get very close, she'll just kind of whisper,
Anders, Mistwyn, if you want to get out of the cart before they get here, that would be great.
and like kind of square her shoulders, getting ready to kind of talk her way through this with the help of Poignet.
Yep. I will hop out into the cart, or out of the cart into a shadowed area just in case I need to do my thing.
I will do the same.
Okay. I mean, you guys are pretty much both invisible, but if you would still like to make some sort of a fun stealth roll, considering you have these awesome, like, buffs to your stats here, then do the dang thing.
37.
Oh my god!
Natural 20 for a 32.
4 billion.
10 bajillion. Okay, well. You are the knight, you are vengeance, you're Batman. You're basically just like part of the shadows at this point. Considering you're also invisible, it is nigh impossible for anyone around you to pick up that there's any sort of extra disturbance. You might like accidentally kick a piece of coal that's on the ground, but there's like so much shuffling that's happening here that it's nothing. You're adding to it and making it more believable more than anything, and very swiftly find your way into the shadows in order to observe. Kelby and Poignet, on the other hand, y'all are still chilling in these carts. Y'all getting out of the cart to greet the overseers? What are you doing?
Yeah, Kelby's Kelby's going to get out of the cart but stay next to it because I assume that we could hear Mistwyn taking his armor off and tucking it into this cart. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's gonna kind of stick next to it, and as they get closer, call out, "Good evening, gentlemen. It's a hard day's work, huh? Work's never done." She also slips fully into character.
Oh, howdy. It's the last shipment of the day. Oh, there's a character choice. That's the last shipment of the day. Aren't you excited? We get to go home and fuck our stew and drink our wives and eat our... sorry, it's been a long day. I'm getting them all mixed them up. Anyway, check our shipments so we can get home to doing all those things I said and nothing else.
Well, but also, this is an extra special delivery. Needs to head straight to the castle.
To the castle, you say, as like a strikingly tall dwarf makes their way over to you. I don't see anything special about this one. What do you want about?
Kelby's going to
There's something that the king and queen might be interested in seeing. We unearthed this in one of the tunnels under some rock slides.
and Kelby is going to kind of pull back and show Mistwyn's armor, which I'm pretty sure has the Ironfist stuff like emblazoned on it, and is going to look.
I know as well as you do that there was only one that wore this, and I think it would only be right to deliver it to them directly.
Well, we can certainly mark you down as you know, the ones that found such a spectacular piece. What name should I put under for the submission for these?
Well, actually, I was, again, since this is so critical, that they receive this information directly, and we can't be bothered with a game of telephone on the details, as it's been some time since, you know, the one who wore this was around. To think it would be best if I delivered it personally.
I see your point. Make a persuasion check.
I would love to think. That is persuasion, 17.
Okay. Okay. You know, it is a bit late. We're wrapping up the shift here. I tell you what, I'll come with you. make sure that you make it there safely. You haven't been to the castle in... Have you ever been to the castle?
Can't say that I have. A new recruit.
Fantastic, fantastic. Ah, I see. Did you come from the east or the west?
The west.
Right. You native to Wildemount, or did you come over the bridge from Teldori?
Kind of like of all the people to get this fucking question, it was Kelly. Like
Mistwyn's got a small, like, right behind us.
Listen here, Lurch. We don't need you coming with us. They basically might as well put a sign on the side of it that says, "Hey, everybody, we got something that needs protecting. We need this to get into the castle." Now, if you want to know where we're from, we're actually from the mountains up near in the North Zemni area. Those mountain dwarves, well, they're a traveling bunch, and so it's kind of a boiling pot of culture and diversity. So I forgot what your question was, but I hope I answered it.
Hey, Brett, can you make a deception check for me?
Fuck yeah, I can. Where is that bad boy? Oh, there you are. Ooh, natural 1.
Oh, bud.
But it's a total of 10.
It is a total of 10, but it was a natural one. The overseer's just gonna look really confused, like, can't say I've heard of recruits coming from the Zemni way in a long while.
You'll have to be begging his pardon. He did hit his head pretty hard on the tunnel on our way down. I don't know if you heard him earlier, but he said he'd like to fuck his soup and drink his wife, so...
Don't
Right.
hear what you're talking about. My mind is as sharp as ever, according to the doctor, and he told me there's hardly any brain damage. And also, he told me that there's hardly any brain damage.
Toby's gonna lean in to this overseer and just say,
You're fine.
excellent. And Kelby's gonna kind of wave to a group of people standing nearby and point to a cart. Just say, "We need this loaded up. Special delivery for the palace to get all of the items from our cart into a vehicle to get us through town."
Okay. Oh, God damn it. I love you, Bray. Fuck. Okay, yeah, you just kind of going along with the flow of trying to move things around and get things ready for transport. You see that there is a cart with a mule that is being loaded with there's an inspector there going through some of the gem bags and looking for the biggest stones and putting them very nicely into a receptacle in the cart. And he would see you kind of looking for a place. Hey, over here. My God, it's some big armor. You can toss that right up front if you want. You and your friend here can hang out back. Actually, knowing that he's got a bit of a head thing, might want to sit up front with me.
We'll actually want him to just stay upright and awake. It's very important, as I do believe that he sustained a concussion.
And Kelby will kind of more loudly say, "I'm just gonna jump up in this cart here, and I look more than I weigh, so if the cart moves a little bit, or I weigh more than I look, so if the cart moves a little bit more than that, due to my heft, that is to be expected."
Just looking at an empty corner, the dwarf is
to get into the cart, trying to disguise.
He's very, very self-conscious about his photograph inside, you see.
Are you sure he's the one that didn't hit his head?
Boy, howdy, last shipment of the day. I'm excited to go home and
So I guess on that cue,
My
we're jumping
wife.
back in the cart.
Yeah, so we've moved from the railed cart to a
Oh, I
cart
see.
that's
Yeah,
being
yeah,
drawn
yeah.
through town.
Right.
And I didn't want you guys to get separated.
This here's my dog Fungus. Would you like to pet him?
Kelby cast minor illusion on Dwa as you hold him up. Little spores will like to try and distract as Anders and Mistwyn climb into the cart.
Yeah, we don't have any fun here if that wasn't entirely clear. God damn it. I'm just gonna take the original stealth roll that Anders and Mistwyn had with their fucking in the 30s in the stratosphere rolls in order to get onto the cart here. You're solid, man. Shit. Especially with everyone now being completely distracted by this decaying dog in front of them.
Yep. Kelby will then like climb up into the driver's seat and say, "Well, we best be getting on. Appreciate your help there. Come along there, little buddy." Gesturing to Poignet to get in the cart, and she's already kind of like getting the horses like ready to go.
Can't wait to get home to my soup wife. Oh, boy.
Oh my god.
Her name's Puree, if you're wondering. Click off.
Call her Campbell's because she's good.
Oh my god.
As we ride out of this inspection station, now armed with a cart to get us through the Stonegarden. As we like get out of earshot, Kelby's gonna kind of look back as like the final like moments of disguise self shimmer away, and she's gonna like look back where the invisibility will wear off because I'm assuming we've hit that hour, and she's gonna be
absolutely.
Complete. Gentlemen, phase 1 complete.
like, she clicks the horse to go further into town.
I am not at all surprised that worked. Perfect impersonations of every dwarf we have ever known.
Spot on, yes, spot on.
Flawless.
So now armed with a cart, being pulled by a donkey, riches beyond your wildest dreams, Mistwyn's armor now tucked where likely Mistwyn is now at this point. You all make your way through the final portion of this tunnel and out into the city of Stonegarden. Mistwyn, what did Stonegarden look like the last time you were here?
Oh, that is a great question, Ash. And I totally know, so give me a second.
I totally know too.
What? Maybe. Yes. What it looks like, the structures and general architecture were comprised mainly of chiseled and magic worked stone. Let's see. It's kind of in three distinct sections, 3 burrows. The upper burrows are extremely detailed and refined, and they're older. And the further down you go, the more kind of utilitarian they get, and the less exquisite the design is. I think where we are right now, exiting the mines would be... Oh, I believe we would be in the central burrows. which would be a lot of where like the main hub of society existed. So markets, taverns, theaters. Yes. Sorry, there's just I wrote a lot for this.
It's a lot of really good stuff, though. So, like, thank you for that.
I'll just read it. Stonegarden structures and general architecture were comprised mainly of chiseled and magic work stone. A good many burrows were created before the founding of the Shapers. The Shapers being kind of the magical guild within the city. The guild committed to the expansion of the underground city. The upper burrows are extremely detailed and refined, a testimony to the creator's precise craftsmanship and dedication. Elaborate depictions and murals can be found on the walls of the upper burrows. The center and lower burrows are far less detailed, an allusion to the city's need for quick and effective expansion under the magical hand of the Shapers. The 3 upper burrows are dedicated to functionality and presentation. The first being the Light Spire. The Light Spire contains the central lifts that transport people to and from the surface and contains a small marketplace. Branching off of the Light Spire are the Bastion and Embassy Hall, which contain the Stonegarden Surface Guard and Main Foray for ambassadorial work, respectively. The central burrows are comprised of 6 residential burrows that branch off from the garden, a massive underground oasis of flowing water, naturally growing flora, and magically created spiderwebbing stone walkways and platforms. The garden is where the main hub of Stonegarden society exists: markets, taverns, theaters, craftsmen, etc. The garden also contains access to the byways, an elaborate system of mined tunnels that span throughout the nearby mountains. Once used for mineral and gemstone collection, the byways can be used for quicker travel throughout the mountains. But they blah 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 blah. Entry to the lower burrow is open to the public, but the keep can be protected by shutting giant steel doors that block off all access. So we are entering the garden right now, which used to be a massive underground oasis of flowing water, naturally growing flora, and magically created spiderwebbing stone walkways and platforms. Which I'm assuming.
What?
So that's...
I'll drop it. I'll link it later.
Yeah, it's very good. It's good shit. So that's what it used to look like. It used to be a massive, sprawling, cavernous city, split up into all these different boroughs and factions and areas of prosperity and growth and happiness. Even the garden was a place where most congregated and was among one of the more beautiful locations of the city. And as you enter, Mistwyn, you're expecting to see this natural flora. You're expecting to see the walkways filled with people. If anything, just as a memory of the last time you were here, understanding that it's very likely fairly dormant at this point, but just for a split second, your view crosses into the entryway of the garden here, and it's a shell of its former self. There's still flora and there's still water flowing here, but it's murky and muddy. And the plants here seem to be alive at best. And as you continue through the center burrow here and closer towards the Gemfire Keep in the lower burrow, kind of following a pathway that's been carved, decades of use of shipments from the tunnels, and most everything else being cordoned off. It's a vast continuation of copper pipes and steam and grotesque architecture that's taken over everything here. Homes and markets and amphitheaters and schools and markets and anything that used to have life now contains machinery and mechanisms and steam. Where once people lived, now gears turn. Where once life flourished, it's empty, hollow. Even the areas where the architecture was vast and expansive and beautiful, it's oddly gaudy now with the copper piping, but also replaced with iconography that is unfamiliar to you. Tapestries that seem out of place, very obviously not part of your family's lineage. And as you get closer and closer to the Gemfire Keep, it is rapidly becoming apparent that this is and has not been your home for a very long time, even before you left. This specific area seems confusing, strange. Hard to imagine that there was anything happy here ever. And for a moment you're kind of convinced that, was there ever anything good about this place? The cart pulls up towards the steps to the keep, which is lined with torches and light bulbs and more copper pipes and steam everywhere. It is hot in here. You're glad you doffed your armor at this point because it is unbearable. There's a guard standing there at the stairs, waiting for you all to exit the cart. They're there to receive the shipment as well. They're not dwarves. They're not people. These are golems here to perform work. They don't even take a second glance as they see a human and a tiefling and a gnome and you here. They're here to perform their job, remove the shipment, and continue on. So before you are the steps up to the keep. The doors wide open, which usually meant an open invitation for those that wanted to greet your mother and father. The open doors were usually an indication that they were available to be met. But a strange inky darkness seems to slither its way out of the doors. Just doesn't seem right. Do you all ascend the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we came here for.
It's easy enough to do. There is no obstacle between you and the entrance to the keep. The higher you ascend, the more gilded everything appears. The copper pipes, excuse me, are replaced with gold. The light fixtures seem to shine with gemstones. There's even small piles here and there, as if to flaunt the immense wealth that's being generated here now. And as you cross the threshold into the keep, you see your parents. You see King Brahm, a shadow of his former self, and Queen Ophelia sitting by his side in their new thrones. Wooden, patched together, impromptu it seems, but at the forefront of the dais. And in the large throne where your father once sat and where your brother was intended to sit, is a silver dragonborn with a massive hammer at her side and a slithering smile comes across her face. She clasps her hands together and then opens them as if an open invitation. Welcome home, Mistwyn Ironfist. Welcome home. That's where we're gonna end tonight. So how we all doing?
We successfully passed through an inspection point by screaming about a soup wife, so I'm feeling pretty good.
It was pretty solid. I had no counter argument to
my God.
the fucking your
So
soup and
funny.
drinking your wife. It was God damn it.
Oh, did he? I think he hit his head real hard. Didn't you hear him say he wanted to drink his wife and fuck his soup? Oh my God. Oh, so
Oh
good.
my god. You guys
That
are the
was so
best.
good.